rock band from Ocala, Florida. They're known for their unusual amalgamation of metalcore and pop punk. Their song structures often follow a metalcore formula and blend into a more pop punk style chorus. One critic fittingly called this blend pop mosh. Here's the history of A Day to Remember, one of my favorite bands ever. A Day to Remember was founded in the spring of 2003 by guitarist Tom Denny and drummer Bobby Scruggs. Coincidentally, these are the only two former band members currently. Singer Jeremy McKinnon was quickly deemed the third band member when Tom Denny asked him if he wanted to join as a vocalist. Tom Denny called Jeremy and said he was starting a new band and asked if Jeremy wanted to sing for them. Initially, they were both in random local bands in Ocala, Florida. Jeremy in All for Nothing and Tom in 2 Days Too Late. But then they wrote a song together, and they loved it. They said it was better than anything their other bands had ever come up with. They didn't have a band name yet, so in the first week, they went through a TV guide at Tom Denny's house, and they found a movie called End of an Era. They liked it, so they made that their name. The very next day, they had practice with one of Bobby Scruggs' friends, and that friend's girlfriend had just randomly come up with the name A Day to Remember. So they got him to stay in the band because they liked the name. That friend stayed in the band for a few weeks, but was eventually kicked out because he walked off of every show they played. A Day to Remember's original bassist and rhythm guitarist didn't work out, and were soon replaced by guitarist Neil Westfall and bassist Joshua Woodard. Neil also happened to be in 2 Days Too Late with Tom Denny, while Josh was actually a fan of the band. ADTR practiced in Jeremy McKinnon's garage, who was living with his parents at the time. Between late summer and early fall of 2004, they released an independent EP titled Halos for Heroes, Dirt for the Dead. The material for the EP was written in Jeremy McKinnon's garage, all in one day, live in studio, in Gainesville, Florida. The extended play was self-released and was limited to 2,000 copies, which were all sold at their live shows. This release helped the band get signed to Indianola. The cover art was adapted for the release of the band's 2007 album, For Those Who Have Heart. As of 2012, Neil Westfall said the band has no plans to re-release this EP. A music video for Breathe Hope in Me was filmed during the band's high school days. This video was leaked onto the internet nearly 7 years later, in April of 2011. Their second EP was self-titled and released in January of 2005. It was more of a demo and a precursor to their debut studio album, as it contained demo versions of 6 of the songs. They officially signed with Indianola in February of 2005. Through Indianola on May 20th, 2005, they released their first studio album, and their name was Treason. Jeremy McKinnon said that the entire album was recorded probably within 3 days in Andrew Wade's bedroom at his parents' house, which is credited in the album booklet as The Wade Studio. The album features samples from various films throughout, with the song Intro featuring a sample from the movie Donnie Darko, 1958 with the sample from The Boondock Saints, and Sound the Alarm features audio from Shaun of the Dead. When speaking about the lyrical themes on the record, Tom Denny said that they were all experiences that Jeremy McKinnon had. It's all based on life. A few of the songs were written by ADTR when they were teenagers, such as 1958, Heartless, and You Should Have Killed Me When You Had the Chance. the latter being one of the first songs the band ever wrote. 1958 was written about a temporary drummer who threatened to go to McKinnon's parents' house with a baseball bat, the number 1958 being the last 4 digits of his phone number. Tom Denny also added that song talks about family and us sticking together no matter what. The album has sold 10,000 copies in the US since its release, with little advertising and no media exposure. This album's success helped the band sign to Victory Records for their following album. A Day to Remember toured in the US in the summer of 2005 to promote the record, along with the bands Caldwell and O'Ryan. The tour continued throughout October and November with Foreknown and Blessed by a Broken Heart as supporting acts. The band's travel vehicles were financed by Jeremy McKinnon's parents. Shortly before the beginning of one tour, drummer Bobby Scruggs told the band he wasn't going, and that he wasn't going to continue with the band. So Woodard and Westfall recruited Alex Shelnut only 3 days before going on tour. Upon being asked, Alex's response was, "Ask my mom," as he was 15 at the time. Neil Westfall said that the group started sounding like a professional band once Alex joined. He said, "He gave us something we never had before." A music video for A Second Glance was released in 2006. ADTR left Indianola as they thought the label would not be able to take them to the next level, as Jeremy said. Victory Records auditioned the band in June of 2006, and following a week-long worth of phone calls, ADTR were told of Victory's interest in signing them. They reportedly signed a deal with them the next month in July. Before the release of the next album, a few songs were made available for streaming via the band's MySpace, including The Plot to Bomb the Panhandle, Fast Forward to 2012, The Danger in Starting a Fire, A Shot in the Dark, and Show 'em the Ropes. A commercial to promote the album was released on January 4th, 2007. ADTR's second studio album, For Those Who Have Heart, was released on January 22nd, 2007. The album peaked at number 17 on the Heatseekers album chart in the US. When asked what message the album was trying to convey, Jeremy McKinnon said the whole record was about pretty much standing up for yourself, and a lot of people do really shitty things to you. He said that's what was happening to us, a lot, and that you shouldn't back down from people. On March 8th, the band released a music video for The Plot to Bomb the Panhandle, which featured arguably the most known porn star ever, Ron Jeremy. On March 14th, ADTR appeared at Victory's showcase event, South by Southwest. In May, the band toured alongside Drop Dead Gorgeous on the US West Coast tour. In July and August, they supported The Sleeping on their US tour.
So how do you guys think that as a band, how do you think you've grown since your first album?
I think we all started writing more. Like before, like it would just be like, hey, I came up with this song, and now like everyone throws like their parts in, and we like actually like sit down and like jam together and stuff. We never used to do that.
Alright, so it is a group process?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, so was there some overall message or direction that you guys are trying to hit with the new album? Is it just pretty much?
I saw someone nodding.
Yeah, you don't know? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The whole record was just about, it's pretty much standing up for yourself, and a lot of people do really shitty things to you, and I don't know, that's what was happening to us a lot, and that record was just pretty much, you should stand up for yourself, you shouldn't back down from people, you know what I mean, because like most of the time, they're full of shit anyways, so.
Now you guys were on, I don't want to screw this up, Indianola before, right?
Right.
How has the difference gone from the two labels?
Night and day, yeah, it's been great. Like, Indianola really didn't have the money to like support like a band growing as we did. So like, we wanted to find someone who could support us, and what we needed to do is like video and like recording budget, like working with a producer, or the studio we wanted to work with, or whatever. Like Indianola couldn't do that, so. Blink-182's back together also, I heard.
Really?
You heard it here from Neil Westfall.
That's big. And Limp Bizkit?
They're already back together. We did a collab with them at home.
By September, it was announced that For Those Who Have Heart had sold over 20,000 copies. In early to mid-October, A Day to Remember supported Silverstein on their headlining tour of the US from late October to early December. On February 4th, 2008, a re-recording of You Should Have Killed Me When You Had the Chance from the band's first studio album was posted on their MySpace page. A reissue of For Those Who Have Heart was released a little over a year after the original, on February 19th, 2008. The reissue has a different cover art as well as 4 bonus tracks. The bonus tracks include a new song recorded especially for the reissue titled Why Walk on Water When We've Got Boats, 2 songs recorded from And Their Name Was Treason, Heartless and the aforementioned You Should Have Killed Me When You Had the Chance, and a cover of the Kelly Clarkson song Since You've Been Gone. In addition to the bonus tracks, there's a bonus DVD with footage of A Day to Remember's performance in their hometown of Ocala, 2 music videos, and behind-the-scenes footage of recording and commentary on the re-release. The re-release came about after Victory asked the band whether or not they were going to do a new album. Joshua Woodard said they weren't ready to do a new album, so Victory asked them if they'd be interested in doing a re-release with new artwork and by adding a few new songs. When talking about the new song, Why Walk on Water When We've Got Boats, the band said they wanted to do a fast-paced song. Jeremy McKinnon admitted that they just kinda winged it for that song, but they did have some ideas from being on tour and messing around. Joshua Woodard said the inspiration for the tempo of that song comes from, quote, we've all been listening to a lot of faster stuff like Comeback Kid and stuff like that. And I don't know, just sitting here one day, let's write a fast song. ADTR chose Since You've Been Gone as their cover song because Jeremy McKinnon said he thought it would embody what we are as a band by taking like the poppiest thing ever and still making it hard enough to where kids fight at our show over it. In February and March of 2008, A Day to Remember went on a US tour alongside Silverstein, The Devil Wears Prada, Protest the Hero, and 4 Letter Line. The music video for The Danger in Starting a Fire was posted online on February 29th, 2008. In early April, the band appeared at the Bamboozle Left Festival in California. In June and July, the group performed at the 2008 edition of the Warped Tour. music video for Since You've Been Gone appeared on YouTube on July 23rd. In September and October of that year, the band went on a US tour with New Found Glory. Plot to Bomb the Panhandle was available as downloadable content in the video game Rock Band 3. A remastered version of A Day to Remember's first album, And Their Nameless Treason, titled Old Record, was released on October 28, 2008. The re-release features a different cover art, a rearranged track listing, and re-recorded instrumentation. Old Record charted at number 16 on the Top Heatseekers albums chart in the US. The re-release came about due to the original album's later unavailability in stores, and as McKinnon commented, the band wanted, quote, people to be able to get it. In an October 2013 interview, Jeremy McKinnon revealed that the band had to re-record the whole album in a couple of days due to pressure from Victory owner Tony Brummel. McKinnon was, quote, absolutely ashamed that it was released, as he thought the band had, quote, butchered it, because it was 2 days of recording. A Day to Remember toured in the UK for the first time in January 2008, and were nominated for Best International Newcomer for the 2008 Kerrang Awards, but lost to Black Tie. A Day to Remember started recording their third studio album, Homesick, from October 25th through November 30th, 2008, the same time Old Record was released.
I'm trying to condense this. Okay. I don't want to like ramble, but you just gotta go about doing things the right way. I think number one mistake everybody makes this, and it doesn't even matter. Like even my friends, like personal friends of mine, I'm going. I shouldn't be. Anyways, the point is that everybody skips. You need to be patient with things. You don't need to like rush into like, oh, this studio is like kind of cheap and it sounds decent. We'll go record like 10 songs in a day and then put it out for free. That's not what you do, because that impresses no one. It's a waste of money unless you're just using it for like writing better songs for your personal you personally, never to be released, because we have like an entire record. It's not released. It's terrible. We did that, you know what I mean? Like, every band does it. They record this shit and then it's just worthless. What you need to do, you have to save up the money. You have to invest in going with somebody who's going to make you sound good. You have to do it. So this isn't the kind of field you want to be in if you don't have money. So if you're not going to work hard at this, you might as well just get out of here. Because like I was working like 40 hours a week. All my money was going to our band. Everybody else was doing the same thing. And we put all our money into like getting awesome equipment, We got a good sounding recording, but we got lucky. It was a cool kid. We're actually going to be recording our new record with him. But the skip steps, you got to put down the money, get a good recording. You got to save up, get good equipment. Everybody wants to like rush shit out too. Like they put it out before like they're ready. I think seriously you should do those 2 steps. Get some merchandise. It doesn't have to be a lot, like maybe a shirt or 2. Get your MySpace, get some nice pictures made, and then make yourself a MySpace. Somebody to make you one that's nice. I mean, if you really want to go all out, get yourself like a merch store and everything, and then out of nowhere, boom, start playing shows. You got awesome equipment. You sound awesome. They buy your record. They like your record because it sounds good. You're selling them T-shirts, and you're just continuous.
You're on tour with Newfound Glory, Crime in Stereo, and 4 Years Strong. How's that been so far?
It's been really great because we're all really big fans of Newfound Glory, and we've been friends with everybody in the other bands like Crime in Stereo and 4 Years Strong. We've been on tour with those guys a lot, so it's pretty much just like a big group of friends, and then you get to watch this amazing band that you grew up listening to, so it's been really awesome.
100%. If just think about that, like you do this shit over time, and like maybe kids will like you, but most of that you're just gonna waste your money over a long period that you're doing this, and then like either kids will make fun of you, you'll give up. You know what I mean? You just got to do it, and then you just go from there. You know, start selling your CDs around your hometown. If you start growing in your hometown, which you should, if you got the good recording, then you start playing out places, and then it just all keeps growing from there.
You guys have a Since You've Been Gone music video out, which is pretty cool. How was making that?
That was
Awkward.
And why is that?
very awkward.
It's just a ridiculous video. I mean,
It's pretty funny. It's really cool. It's pretty good.
A big spoof on her video.
I figured that, yeah.
Yeah, and tried to make it as retarded as possible, obviously. And
You go from just like singing to like a breakdown.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's cool.
we just tried to have as much fun with it as possible. Because if we didn't, that would have been the most awkward video ever.
it still kind of is.
Yeah, it still kind of is. But we had a good time, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, my band wouldn't be a band without Vintage Records. So, like, literally, we did it the wrong way, like right off the bat. So that's what I'm talking about. We did not do those things, and that's why we were in the position we were in, like doing bad. Like we found this like upstart label, Indian Old Records. A few of our friends' bands, Evergreen Terrace, were on there. So we were like, that's not that bad. We thought it was the biggest shit in the world back then because we're just, we're kids. So we signed to them, but we got lucky with that because if they hadn't been interested and gave us some money to record, then we wouldn't have had a decent recording and kids wouldn't have been into our band yet.
We're actually recording our new record during the time.
Yes, I heard that. How's that going so far?
It's going well. We're recording here in our back lounge every night, and Chad from Newfound Glory is producing it. So, yeah, we've just been working.
It's called Homesick, right?
And just to clarify, we
It's
have
not a re-release.
No, we have a re-release coming out
Okay.
in October
Right.
of our first record, thus it being called Old Record. Some people are seeing the artwork and they're like, "Oh, this is their new full length." I'm so excited.
Right.
It is not. The new full length is going to be out in like February. It's going to be called Homesick.
Talking about why you need a label.
Oh yeah. Well, we were gonna break up because after that record, we were like, this label isn't big enough to get us to the next level. So we have to get onto another label, or there's really no point of even putting out this next record and spending like another 2 years of our lives on it, because the label was like literally going to give us like maybe $1,000 to record.
Yeah.
For those who have art, and we were like, we're not recording this record like that. This deserves. And tell me you can't tell the tour makes a difference in the way you play.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes a difference in bands. Like I don't know. I really think tour like really molds you into what you are. Yeah. So I think that's a problem. That is a problem. People don't play shows. They don't know. You know what I mean? Because it's all one big thing. Everything matters. Not just like, oh, we sound cool. We got a lot of friends on MySpace. yeah, those friends are gonna come see you and you're gonna suck dick. You look like a fucking idiot up there. We look like idiots for 2 years straight, but we learned lessons, you know? That's what it's about. You make mistakes, you learn from them, you become a better band. That's my simple steps to becoming a band. That was a good interview.
On January 6th, 2009, the track list of the album was revealed. In mid-January, the song Welcome to the Family was put on the band's MySpace page. The reason the song was chosen was to show the band's older fans that they haven't changed, in terms of the sound from For Those Who Have Heart, Homesick. The Downfall of Us All was added to their MySpace page on January 26th. The album was leaked onto the internet 2.5 weeks before release. Jeremy McKinnon said he, quote, was pretty upset when that happened. The next day, NJ Legion Ice-T was released as the first single. A Day to Remember's third studio album, Homesick, was released on February 3rd, 2009. The album was again recorded at the Wade Studio, located in Ocala, Florida. The cover art was designed by Dan Mumford based on an idea by Jeremy McKinnon. It's an interpretation of different paths in life, and how one road can change a person's life. The songs featured on Homesick were written while the band was on Warped Tour 2008 and on the Easy Core tour with producer Chad Gilbert of New Found Glory.
My name is Chad Gilbert. I produced A Day to Remember's last record, Homesick, and last time we worked on the record, we were in the back of their bus.
Chad Gilbert had a large influence on the band. The songs were finished on a latter tour, meaning Chad Gilbert helped to structure the band's songs and also assisted them with composing, quote, a few really catchy parts.
Jeremy, fans want to know, have you ever been to jail? And how homesick are you really?
No, never been to jail. But Tom has, and he went to jail for shitting himself.
In public.
Actually, he was drunk in public, got arrested, and shit himself on the way to jail. So that's a way better story anyways. No, I have not. Also, Neil has been to jail twice.
Jail.
Twice. No.
I've been to jail twice.
So tell him about that.
One time, Alex called the cops on me because I tried to touch him inappropriately. Twice.
It happens.
Twice.
Twice. So, how homesick are we really?
Enough to write a whole CD about it, bitch.
Twice.
Twice.
Twice. 3 times, maybe. We'll see. Well, recording and writing this record was way different than anything we'd ever done. We wrote all of the music on the road, on Warped Tour and on the New Found Glory tour, so that was definitely a learning experience, and it almost made a lot of us quit the band.
And we actually used a tuner on this CD, and that was a big difference. Alex played the drums on this CD. Oh yeah, Alex.
Well, it sounds like you played drums on this CD.
Alex really used a real drum kit this time instead of a Roland Pokemon special drum set that we used on the first CD.
The album's lyrics are similar to the previous efforts, with the band aiming to, quote, keep it as personal and open at the same time, as Jeremy commented. Speaking of the album's sound, McKinnon said that the band, quote, wanted to make sure it was heavier and poppier, while at the same time trying, quote, to take it to the next level. Jeremy McKinnon said that having Andrew Wade, who had previously worked on the band's other albums on production duties, was a way for the album to have a, quote, a day to remember type feel. In September of 2008, a demo appeared on the band's MySpace page entitled Wax Larry.
This is the true
The band
story
documented
of
the
five
recording
guys
process, releasing
getting
several
together for a
webisodes on
concert.
YouTube under the name
To
The
get
Real
in the studio
ADTR, Homesick, and
and make a
Ocala.
record.
Find out what happens when people stop being polite.
And start being real.
It's been called a spoof of the MTV reality show The Real World. Homesick was produced by Chad Gilbert and mixed by Adam Duckiewicz of Killswitch Engage, with mixing taking place in December of 2008 at Zing Studios. The album features 3 guest vocalists: Mike Kranica of The Devil Wears Prada on I'm Made of Wax Larry, What Are You Made Of? Vincent Bennett of The Acacia Strain on Welcome to the Family. And Sierra Kusterbeck of Versa Emerge on If It Means a Lot to You. One of the tracks written for Homesick was held over for What Separates Me From You, the album released the following year. This track was an instrumental entitled Moneymaker that was also recorded during the sessions, but McKinnon had difficulties with it. He later explained that when it came down to writing vocal parts, he just couldn't get the song done. He thinks it was the best music for the whole record. The music was just so catchy on its own. So they said they'll just set it aside for next time around. That song became All Signs Point to Lauderdale.
Downfall was the last song written for Homesick. I actually wrote it randomly driving to go pick up the other guys. It was like 4 in the morning and the song just like hit me like that. I had to figure it out as soon as I got to my parents' house. And it was crazy. Just figured it out on guitar. And it was one of those things that we wrote the song within the next 2 days, just like nonstop. It was just like something that just appeared in my head and we had to figure it out. It was about anticipating fans' response to our record, because regardless of what any band does, people are always going to say you sold out, always. And this song was about people who are going to say that, and how regardless of what they think, this is what we want to do, this is what we've always wanted to do, and we were happy with it regardless.
In February and March of 2009, the band went on a tour of the UK and Europe alongside For the Fallen Dreams and Israel. The second single was The Downfall of Us All, and the music video was released on March 3rd. Prior to the March tour, Tom Denny had broken his wrist, so the band recruited Kevin Scaff, formerly of Four Letter Lie, to fill in. Before Tom Denny's injuries forced him to leave the Prada tour, it was known that Tom was looking to settle down, focus on his recording studio, get married, and prepare to start a family soon. When it was decided that Tom was leaving the tour due to his injuries, they also discussed his passion to continue being in the band. He told us he no longer had the drive to tour anymore. We all knew that he was genuinely over it, and we all collectively decided that it was best for him to just not be with us anymore. At the end of the tour, they all discussed what they were going to do about a new guitarist, and decided that Kevin was the man. They said he's an amazing guitarist, an incredible singer, and fits perfectly into what they're trying to do. His personality meshes so well with the rest of the band. We've become best friends with him in the short time he's been with us, and everyone that's seen him with us knows that our set doesn't suffer due to the lineup change. This was genuinely a mutual move for Tom and A Day to Remember. He would remain a part of the band's process of writing new material. Between mid-March and early May, the band supported The Devil Wears Prada on their headlining tour of the US. The Downfall of Us All was released to radio on May 26. My Life for Hire was one of the first songs written for the album, but remained unfinished until shortly before recording sessions began. The lyrics refer to the music business and how the band were told that they couldn't be what they wanted to be, as Jeremy McKinnon said. The title, I'm Made of Wax Larry, What Are You Made Of, was a quote that Jeremy thought was cool from the movie Night at the Museum. The lyrics are about getting revenge. NJ Legion Ice-T is about how it felt going to shows when they were younger. It's all about hanging with friends, having a good time, and feeling like they had a place. The title, Mr. Highway's Thinking About the End, also comes from the movie The Good Son, while the lyrics are about people attempting to undermine your achievements. Have Faith in Me is about trusting other people and looking after them. Welcome to the Family features a recording of Andrew Waite's actual heartbeat towards the end of the track. The title track Homesick was written as one piece before being split into two songs, which the band thought didn't work well and changed it back to one song. Jeremy McKinnon said he was proud of that track. Quote, my parents were really happy when they first heard it. My dad is always worried about me, and my mom really did ask me to write her some soft songs. I finally did. Holding It Down for the Underground came about after McKinnon lost two family members, and writing the song helped him relieve the pain. You Already Know What You Are is about negative people and music lyrics, and doing whatever you want no matter what others say. The song's title was a saying from a friend of the band. Another song about the weekend is a reference to Secret Lives of the Freemasons album, Weekend Warriors from 2008, while the lyrics are about a sick cycle of life on the road. Every time you're gone, you miss home, and when you get home, you miss the road. If It Means a Lot to You had been written over the course of a year, and McKinnon said he wrote it about himself. Jeremy described the song as, quote, a great way to end the album, describing it as one of their biggest songs.
Yes. Get it? We had a couple friends that were in like bigger bands at the time, and they were trying to be our mentors to us, and they're like, "You guys are fucking retarded. You know, this sounds like shit. Like, why would you mix this and this? It's like they don't even go together. You know?" And it didn't really make sense or catch on, and we didn't really care because we weren't writing music to please people. We were writing music that we wanted to hear ourselves. And like in the beginning, certain people wanted to play more pop punk, and certain people wanted to play more hardcore. And it was basically like us just arguing and butting heads, like trying to get more of one style into the song rather than the other. So it was not intentional by any means, and it was kind of annoying getting to the point where we were, because like it was just like always butting heads. But I think it worked out for the best. I mean,
what do you think now? Because it is like quite popular now.
Yeah, I mean,
you're obviously like cited as the first to do that, so that must be pretty like.
It's crazy. I mean, because like for the longest time, like I felt like I was the idiot for like wanting to play in a band like this, and then now it's like everyone's like, you must be an idiot for not wanting to play in a band like this. We're like, I was like, well, I mean, I'm glad you guys are hopping on the bandwagon.
Have Faith in Me was released as a radio single on March 2nd, 2010. The video for I'm Made of Wax Larry, What Are You Made Of? Had its television premiere on MTV on March 16th. The music video was based on an idea from their friend Kyle Crawford. As Jeremy said, he was like, hey, you should totally make a video where you guys are playing kickball and you play a bunch of kids and just kick the shit out of them. And I was like, that's a great idea, let's look into it. When asked why it was the band's next music video, Neil Westfall said it stands out compared to the other songs, as it's a harder song. The song was also released as a radio single.
We just try to have fun, and if kids come out and like it, then that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, and if they don't, then we're still doing what we want. Probably go be trash people. Yeah, like there you go. That's why we're here.
And how did you guys start out?
A local band, just a culmination of a bunch of different local bands, and
literally the smallest local band you could possibly be, doing everything wrong ever, and then we just learned every lesson the hard way that we possibly could, and now we're here. Yeah. Still learning shit the hard way because we're just not smart enough to do it the easy way. We're not smart. Not smart, huh? Yeah, we're toast.
No, you're playing a work hard. Listen to people who have done it.
And just keep working. Whenever people tell you to stop, I mean, it's just about hard work, honestly. I mean, and people notice that. So if
it's not just about money.
Yeah, it's about honestly putting in your. Yeah, it's like whenever bands like come and make it, when they make it and then they like they make it like not without a solid fan base, they go away quickly. So if you do it the right way and you move up slowly, building your fan base as you go, they'll stay with you for longer, and they care about you more, and it's the better way to do it, honestly.
Between late June and late August, the band performed at Warped Tour 2009. A reissue of Homesick was announced on September 13th, 2009, and released on October 27th. The original track listing is still intact, along with acoustic versions of Homesick and another song about the weekend, and 9 live tracks from a performance in Switzerland. NJ Legion Ice-T is available as downloadable content for Guitar Hero World Tour. The songs The Downfall of Us All, Have Faith in Me, I'm Made of Wax Larry, What Are You Made Of? And If It Means a Lot to You are available as downloadable content for Rock Band. I'm Made of Wax Larry, What Are You Made Of? Had been added at the request of the band's fans.
You guys recently had your music put on Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Have you had a chance to play them?
We actually played them on Warped Tour. We did like these signings and stuff at the Rock Band tent, and we had to like judge people playing songs and stuff, and near the end of the tour they actually got The Downfall of Us All on there and people were playing it, and they had us come out and play it as like a group one day, and it was actually pretty hard. So yeah. I mean, we like to play those games, so that song on hard is actually pretty challenging, so it was cool to play it.
What are some of the differences between playing them live and a video game?
It's actually way easier to play real guitar than it is to play Guitar Hero or something like that, actually. Because if you learn how to do it, it's like they make all these like crazy things happen for parts where it's literally like the most simple thing ever. So
Yeah.
I definitely suggest people actually learn how to play guitar.
In December, the band released a Christmas song, Right Where You Want Me to Be, on their MySpace account. A Day to Remember contributed a track to the Punk Goes Pop 2 record from Fearless, covering the phrase "Over my head, cable car."
Still on good terms with Tom. We were in his wedding. We went to his wedding and stuff. He wanted to focus more on him, like his family, his life at home, his studio, and we're a lot happier now because Kevin wants to be here, and Kevin's stoked on being on tour with us, and I think it really boosted the morale of the band to bring in like a fresh new face. And we're still writing with Tom, we're still doing pre-production with Tom, so it's almost like we just brought another head into the mix. It's like
it's actually made it better because he's happy and you're happy.
He's happier, we're happier, we're still riding with him, so everyone should be still happy.
So for Total Guitar readers who may not know much about A Day to Remember, just give us kind of a brief rundown of how you guys formed.
I mean, we kind of just got together because we wanted to be like a hardcore band, and we love pop punk, so there was no bands from our area that played music like that, so we put our favorite style of music together, and that's how we're here. I mean, I'm just thankful that people like it.
Okay, because you guys have been described as post-hardcore. What does that mean, and do you agree with the term?
I mean, no idea. I think what it means is it's music that has come from hardcore, like post, like hardcore in the '90s was like, you know, like Earth Crisis and like
sick shit.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know if I can swear. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but you know, stuff like that. Like, and then this is just what has come of that. Like that is a main influence in our band for sure, and I think that's what that means.
How do you guys prepare before your shows?
We actually put on whatever music will hype us up the most. Recently it's been Set Your Goals, On Broken Wings, and we take black powder, but Kevin stopped taking that.
So this summer you guys didn't play the main stage of Warped Tour, but you still pulled some of the biggest crowds. How did you guys manage to do that?
I don't really know. I mean, we just do what we do what we've always done. I mean, we just put out a new record called Homesick, and people are pretty stoked on it. So, I mean, you know, we try to have a good time, and kids like to come and have a good time with us.
We always looked up to Newfound Glory, like them being from Florida, and they're like they're probably one of our favorite bands collectively. And he was like producing. He had just produced the H2O record, the new one, and I mean that's amazing. So like, he kind of understood where we were coming from. Like, he was in a hardcore band, Shai Hulud, and he obviously writes all the music for Newfound Glory. So he kind of gets like what we're trying to do, like mixing the hardcore and the pop punk. And he kind of helped us with that, like kind of meshing the two styles a little better than we ever have before. So it was kind of like an obvious choice for us. Like we went to him, we were like, we want you to produce our CD, and it worked out because we did the tour with him, and he did a lot of the pre-production with us. And then actually he wasn't there when we were recording the CD, like, but every day Jeremy and Andrew would send him like the tracks, and they would video chat with him and be like, and he would tell them their notes and like whatnot. So like, shout out to Apple. Fuck yeah, thanks for the video chat. We wouldn't have been able to record Homesick without it, you know. But that's how he came into the mix.
Do you think you'll work with him again then?
We would like to, yeah. I think we're going to.
It's really clear that you guys have brought in hardcore as, of course, the covers you've done. Just because when comparing it to the pop songs, it's obviously a little bit heavier. So you've had the covered The Fray and Kelly Clarkson. A lot of bands that are like of your genre are doing that these days. Can anybody explain this phenomenon to me?
It's all because of
Covering
us.
like the punk goes kind of. I got a whole album of it.
Christopher
like,
Columbus. Well, to be honest with you, I mean, we're not saying we started. He's kidding, but when we actually did that Kelly Clarkson cover, a lot of people weren't doing stuff like that. That's why we did it. It was just like something like, I mean, some people had done stuff like that, like Newfound Glory back in the day did like a few cover records, but then we were just like, let's just do something off the wall that nobody would expect. You know what I mean? That's what we did, and it went over really well.
How did you guys get different ideas for your different songs and your sound?
Each song I think kind of has like a different feel. Like Jeremy writes like a lot of the lyrics, and he'll like come up with a lot of guitar parts. And from now on, like everyone writing together is gonna come up with a lot of like guitar parts. And like whatever song it is, like you kind of like if it's like a heavy song, it's probably gonna be like a heavier subject, you know. And then you just go like that. You can't. I don't know. You can't talk about unicorns on a heavy song.
Talking about you two as actual guitarists, how long have you been playing guitar for, and why choose the instrument in the first place?
It's a funny story. Me and Kevin actually talked about this the other day. We both started playing guitar because of Blink-182, which is, I mean, like, they're like my favorite band. I have them tattooed on my knuckles, you know, like, if it wasn't for them, like, honestly, I was like, I want to be in a band because of Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge. And they changed my life when I was in 8th grade, and that's how long I've been playing guitar, ever since I got their live CD. And I was like,
Blink-182 for sure, and then my dad got me into like oldies too. Yeah, like Allman Brothers, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, so been doing that.
He's way better guitar than me. I just learned with Blink, you know, the simple shit. He's like fucking. That's why I play the lead.
Okay, cool. So, Kevin, you're fairly new to the band, obviously having replaced Tom, who's left. So how do you two kind of share axe duties now? Do you have defined roles, or is it kind of, you know, whatever happens?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is defined roles just because, like, he kind of just came in and took what Tom did, and he was good enough to do that, so I kind of just stayed the same. And that's really, the switch was, I can't even say how easy it was. Like, literally, he knew the songs, came to practice, we played them, and then we went on tour. It was that simple.
And you were pretty comfortable coming into the band then, even though it's quite established at that point?
I was stressed out, but I learned, how many songs? 12. I think I learned 12 songs in, yeah. Well, I had to learn them in a day to come to practice the next day. Yeah. And then we had one practice, and then we played. Manchester was our first show, my first show with these guys. So.
I read from your Twitter that you guys have started writing new material for your next album. How far is actually the process at the moment?
We're just doing some demos just to work out when we get home. You know, we've got our engineer Andrew Wade, who always works with us on tour, and whenever we have free time, we just go and work out ideas that we have. And then when we get home, we're all going to come together and start working on them as like a whole and really making them what it's going to be on the album. So we're just kind of putting things together right now for the future.
Yeah. Just what can you say about the material so far?
It's fucking badass.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm actually more excited about this record than I've ever been about something we're doing ever. So I don't know. I'm stoked.
It's gonna be a day to remember. It's gonna be heavy, of course, and poppy, and you know, every element that has been a part of our band before, just maybe elaborated on a little bit more. You know, just
it'll just be the next logical step for our band. It'll make sense when it comes out. We're on a bunch of different local bands and stuff, and then we found Alex because our old drummer quit, and he was in like this like little side band that our guitar player and our bass player had, and he was really young, and we were looking for a drummer, and he was 15, so it was just like a joke, and we were just like, hey, you want to come on tour? And he was like, yeah, I'll ask my mom, and she said yes. So really crazy story, and in the long run, we got to keep him, and he's great, and I love him.
Aw, heartfelt. How did you guys come up with your name?
We used to have this guy who was in our band that our old drummer kind of forced to be in the band. He was really terrible, but his girlfriend came up with the name A Day to Remember, and we were looking for a name, and I kind of liked that one. I was like, what if we just used that? And everybody's like, sure, sounds good. And then we kicked him out like a week later because he was terrible. So we just took the name, kicked the guy out.
We're feeling a little bit more comfortable with our style, and we kind of got like a song, like the structure. We kind of have that down, you know, like we know, like we understand like how to write in a Day to Remember song, and it can be, we can just substitute influences almost. It's like we have the structure down, where the influence for the song comes in, that's the difficult part. But it's easy because you can try anything, you know, like we've opened the doors to trying out everything.
How would you describe your live performance?
Bad jokes, heavy breakdowns, fun. I mean, we try to just have fun, honestly. We have beach balls, we have confetti cannons, it's like we just want you to have the best possible time that you can, and that's what we're all about.
How is this experience with you being 18 and your bandmates being older?
It's just weird because A Day to Remember has been a band from where we live like 2 years before I joined the band. So I was never really a fan of the band, but I've listened to them a lot just because they were big around our area. So I knew all the songs, and then when I got an opportunity to go on tour, I couldn't say no because, I mean, helping friends out and going on tour, and then just kind of went from there. It's just weird. Because I wasn't even in the band when I first toured. I was just a fill-in, and then now I'm in the band. It's just weird. 3 years later.
Highlights, I mean, just getting to see the world with my best friends, you know, and I mean, making some of the best friends I've ever met, and that's it really. I mean, like getting to write music and play music and travel the world with your best friends, you know, that's it.
The Kelly Clarkson cover. You knew that was going to come up, right? Who thought of covering that song since you've been gone?
It was like kind of like a joke between all of us. Like I remember one day we were driving down a farm road in Pennsylvania, and I was talking to Tom. I was like, dude, listen to this Kelly Clarkson song, because we had been talking for a while about covering like a pop song, because we were like they like in America they classified it as like a pop mosh, which was like a mix between the two, and like we were like we could bit hardcore in like a pop song. So like I was like, dude, Kelly Clarkson, listen to this part, like we could like make it our own. Like I had this breakdown in my head, like I had like the verse planned out, and then Jeremy's like, dude, that would be sick, and then he had like the chorus and like all the backup vocals and all that stuff, and it came together too good. I mean, like people want us to keep playing it, and we're like, fuck.
Do you guys ever expect to get to the level you're at now?
No, not in the slightest. I mean, we've gotten to, I mean, like our last record debuted at like number 21 on the Billboard charts, so I mean, that's kind of ridiculous for a band from where we're from. You know, it's just a really small town in Florida, and you know, we were never really even that serious about it. I mean, yeah, we take it seriously, and we tour a lot, we work hard at it, but you know, we're not playing like, we're not some artsy band, we're just some kids having a good time playing stuff we like to play. So you know, I think we met a lot of our goals, actually all of our goals that we had for our band early in For Those Who Have Heart, our last CD's album cycle. So everything that's happened from here on out is just pluses, you know, we're just having a good time, kind of riding it.
ADTR played their first headlining tour, the Pulling Your Pud Tour, along with Parkway Drive and Fear and Faith and Icy Stars, starting in September 2009. The band then supported Bring Me the Horizon with guest August Burns Red on their tour of the UK and Europe in October. A Day to Remember performed at the 2010 Soundwave Australian Music Festival.
Hey, what's up? It's Jeremy from A Day to Remember. We just caught when we played Soundwave 2010 in Australia. Come talk to the guys about what they think. Guys, tell them how you feel about Australia.
Black Mamba Westball here. I can't wait to kill a koala and make a head out of it.
Yeah! Yo, it's Kev, bro, and I can't wait to hook a great one.
Yeah! It's Hang Ten Josh, and I can't wait to catch some waves.
Yeah! It's Alex, and I can't wait to fuck a kangaroo. Yeah, but anyway, you heard it first. A Day to Remember super stoked to go down under!
They toured across the UK in March of 2010 with support from Architects and Your Demise. Followed by Homesick in North America with August Burns Red, Silverstein, Enter Shikari, Vera, and Go Radio from March 31st to May 18th. A music video for Have Faith in Me was released on July 14th, 2010 and received its world premiere on MTV. Homesick charted at number 21 on the Billboard 200, number 1 on Top Independent Albums, number 2 on Hard Rock Albums, number 15 on Digital Albums, and number 5 on the Alternative Albums charts. The album sold 22,000 copies within its first week and reached 200,000 copies by July 2010. The single Have Faith in Me charted at number 40 on the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart.
Whenever let go, you should know things aren't always what they seem. I said it never let you go, and I never did. Said it never let you fall, and I always meant it. You didn't have a chance, then I never did. You'll always find me.
In February 2014, The Downfall of Us All was certified gold with 500,000 units. Same fate came to If It Means a Lot to You in that September. And on July 21st, 2017, the single was certified platinum with 1 million sales.
I've got 2 songs right now for you, and they just so happen to be the heaviest songs we've ever written. So I know this is a nice venue and all, but give us a break. This song's called Mr. Highway, singing about the end.
In July 2015, the album was certified silver in the UK after selling 60,000 copies there. In March 2016, Homesick was certified gold in the US with 500,000 sales. Have Faith in Me was certified gold in April of 2017, and in August of that year, Homesick was certified gold in Canada.
Have you guys started working on new material since Homesick?
Yeah. We've been writing constantly ever since then. Jeremy always writes. Everyone always is jamming ideas. I mean, you know, when you're always on tour constantly playing your instrument, like you can't help but just jam little riffs or like write little, you know, whatever. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
What was that beat on, like?
If Blink-182 had a child with Bury Your Dead from Cover Your Tracks, probably. Yeah.
Both those bands.
And My Chemical Romance had an affair with the 3 of them. So we're all together. And Bayside was there too.
I'd agree.
In a March 2010 interview, guitarist Neil Westfall told Ultra the Press, quote, "We've written a few jams. We're always constantly writing. Like I think we wrote some parts the other day." Westfall also said that once the band returns home from touring, they're gonna drop everything and start writing and doing pre-production full-time. In another March 2010 interview, Jeremy McKinnon said, "For our new album, we actually have all of the pop/punk song ideas written." He also said, quote, "At the moment we have about 10 songs, but we have to try and shrink that down to 5. And then we're going to write 5 heavier songs, because we always have to have the balance, or else it just wouldn't be a day to remember." Jeremy also had to dispel rumors that their next album was going to be entirely pop-punk based. Jeremy said, "A lot of people on the internet are saying we're going to go and turn into an all-out pop-punk band, but we're not," he said. "I mean, if we wanted to be a pop-punk band, we would have done that from the start. It will always be half and half."
I heard they got rid of all the breakdowns. I heard they're gonna do real studio updates, not just bad acting. Whoa. It will be released as a re-release?
Oh my god! They know everything we have planned for this record.
What's your favorite song to perform within those 7 years?
I would say Second Step. I'm gonna say Second Step.
When asked how does it sound, McKinnon said, "I think the pop-punk stuff has a darker edge to it. I wrote it like that. It's still pop-punk, but with a darker edge." In July of 2010, it was announced that the band would bring out the album in October. The album's title and cover art were revealed by ADTR in a live video via Victory Records' official website on September 21st, 2010. Almost every album cover art has been designed by a different artist. Jeremy just goes with the person he's feeling for the project. What Separates Me From You's cover was meant, quote, to be a little more serious. It has the vibe of a painting. Featured on the album cover is the band's ex-guitarist Tom Denny, video director Drew Russ, Andrew Wade, and producer Chad Gilbert. A Day to Remember released a short preview of their new song, Second Sucks, on October 6th. The next day on October 7th, the album's first single, All I Want, debuted on K-Rock Radio. As the single of choice, Neil Westfall said All I Want was a great transition song from Homesick. Originally set for release on October 26th, 2010, the album was delayed until November 15th in the UK and the preceding day in the US. The album was leaked a few days prior to release.
How would you guys describe your music to someone who's never heard it before? Let's convince people, some people that aren't necessarily going to the show, to go to the show tonight.
We're pretty much, I would say, 4 different bands in one. So I would assume that if you picked up an A Day to Remember record, or if you came to a show, there's going to be a little bit there for you, catered to what you like. Pretty sure. We're kind of all over the place.
We really are. There's something for everybody.
How would you describe your music? And how has it evolved?
I would say our music now is badass, and it's evolved from not badass.
Yes. Is that a genre, badass?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, because I mean, you can't really place our band in one genre, so I mean, we just mix all like the badass parts of like other badass music into one badass genre.
And shit's
The
another
badass
genre.
genre of music.
Evolving from shit.
What Separates Me From You, the name. Tell me a little bit about the album. Where did you guys record it? Who'd you work with?
Well, we recorded it in Ocala, actually, with
excellent.
with our really good friend Andrew Wade, who actually did Homesick. And we
The last album, right?
Yeah, the last album we did. Big Boss, that's for sure. And we had Chad Gilbert come in from Newfound Glory.
Oh, excellent.
He produced the record, and we also had former guitarist Tom Denny actually helping us write too. So
nice.
We had the whole crew, and it was just an awesome time, and it went really smooth.
How did you meet?
I was trying to steal Alex from a metal band, and I begged his mother to let him come tour with my band because our drummer was hooked to heroin.
That's actually a true story.
But it has a good ending, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
I don't do
it's not
heroin,
that
I
bad.
don't do drugs.
Alex loves happy endings.
What
I
is
love happy endings.
How much influence do you think sites like Facebook and MySpace have had on getting the music out to people? Is that huge?
I mean, MySpace was huge, especially for the last few records. I don't know so much these days when it comes. I don't really know what's going to happen with MySpace music now, but I mean, Facebook was really big for us, putting up these song previews and stuff from the new record. So, yeah, there's still a strong presence online for our band.
Yeah, the 45-second preview of Second Socks, that was a lot of people like waiting for that to come out. Yeah. Has the crowd reaction to that song been like crazy?
Yeah, it's been sick. It's really it's only been up for a little bit, but the crowd's been going crazy for it.
Yeah, they're like 45-second clip like was up, but like kids know parts that are like later on in the song. Like it's crazy. It's sweet. What inspired this album? It's Jeremy writes a lot of like the content that like as far as like lyrics and stuff goes, but the record just like Homesick this is like we've chosen to do with our lives, you know, being gone, playing music, touring, all that kind of stuff, and this record's kind of like the repercussions of like those choices. It's like whatever.
It's just what separates us
from yeah, it's just the repercussions.
A Data Remember's fourth studio album, What Separates Me From You, was released on November 15th, 2010. The album, which was recorded mainly at the Wade Studios in Ocala, Florida from May to July 2010, was the first to feature guitarist Kevin Scaff. The album was produced mostly by Chad Gilbert, with help from Andrew Wade and the band's vocalist, Jeremy McKinnon.
So basically, we're putting the dream team back together. We got Chad Gilbert producing, Andrew the Big Boss Wade working the boards, and coming back, you love him, we love him, your boy Tom Denny.
All I Want reached number 12 on the US Alternative Songs chart and number 25 on the Rock Songs chart. Even though Tom Denny didn't play for this album, he was retained to work with the band behind the scenes. All of the songs for What Separates Me From You were written while the band was touring in 2009 and 2010. This album was influenced by the American post-hardcore band Finch's album, What It Is to Burn, from 2002. Jeremy said in an interview that there's songs that didn't make it to this record that they're saving. There's also a track on the album that was previously written for Homesick, Moneymaker, which turned into All Signs Point to Lauderdale.
What song are you guys most proud of? On the record? Yeah, on the record. Probably when we were writing, like the most fun I had writing was probably for Sticks and Bricks. I thought that was fun when we were writing that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's not that it's not one of my favorite songs, but it's not my favorite song on the record, but writing wise, I thought that was probably the funnest to write.
I would say I've read 90, let's be fair, and I'll say 95% of every negative thing ever said about our band. Yeah. I'm actually one of those people that cannot help it whatsoever, and I have to read it. Sometimes you actually get real people with real opinions that actually have good ideas, and I like that. Like, I like hearing like constructive criticism from people who actually care. The people that are just getting on things like and saying, oh, this band's sold out, stuff like that, it's like, it's just kids, you know? Like, we're the same band we've always been. We have the same elements. A Day to Remember is always going to be a heavy band. A Day to Remember is always going to be a poppy band at the same time. Or you're not going to be a day to remember.
You're looking at the album cover,
Uh-huh.
and you guys always have really great songs.
Try
So
to.
we were kind of trying to decipher almost what all the stuff meant. Can you kind of go into
It's it's a lot of different things that kind of ties the record together. Like, the title kind of ties everything like together when it comes to all the stuff that the record's about. Whether it be separating yourself from like your peers, or like, for instance, some of us lost some family members on this last record cycle, or like things like deteriorating like in your personal life. When you can't really be there too. I mean, it's more like life goes on when you're not there kind of thing. So that's why the hourglass, and you're separated by time and distance. You know what I mean? So it kind of ties everything together, like all the different things that the record talks about.
When asked how he comes up with song titles, McKinnon said, "I've got my iPhone, and I go on my notes, and every time I see something I like, I write it down. So a lot of the titles are something that means something to us only, or to someone I know only." McKinnon said what separates me from you was a lot more personal and darker than Homesick, and it was a natural progression of what we were doing, with the same core as the band's preceding albums. Scaff said that Jeremy originally wanted to name the album Always the Hard Way, but later realized that the hardcore band Terror had already used that title for an album. Before showing the songs to the band, Jeremy McKinnon and Kevin Scaff worked on them alone. When they had all the song ideas, then they worked on them as a full band. During that, Josh said the band had been going in from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. and all they do is sit around and play.
We never tried to do any of this. Like, we don't write songs to be on the radio. The radio just plays us.
Yeah, Day to Remember, you guys are fucking huge. Why are you so popular, do you think?
I have no idea.
It's kind of weird. My mom didn't really let me dress up for Halloween because she said it was the devil's holiday and she didn't want to celebrate the devil. So what I would do is I'd have to get creative and like last minute, like hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. I would just grab like a box from like outside and I would be like a UPS package. And when people would open the door, I'd jump out and scare them from the box. It was actually pretty cool.
Were you happy with the production as opposed to for those stuff apart?
I mean, yeah, stuff like that, it sucks because we love those songs and everything, but to be honest with you, like, I'm really picky when it comes to recordings and stuff, and it has to be perfect. I can't even listen to that record anymore because there's so many little things here and there that are like mistakes. Like, it sucks because, like, we were a younger band, we didn't have time really to do what we wanted to do in the studio. We're kind of learning still, so I mean, it is what it is.
Between demoing the songs and their final forms, Josh said crazy things were happening. Verses became choruses, with Chad Gilbert assisting the band with arrangements and writing. As the band thought they were getting better as songwriters, Josh said, "It's getting more heavy and more pop." There was one song that the band recorded that was screwed up really badly, and it didn't make the record. The group recorded a fast-paced song, and Jeremy tried to imitate rap singing, and we were like, that's not good.
So you guys got another album in the works?
We've got, a few demos. We got a few demos floating around, so yeah. It's gonna be good. We're kind of going back to where we don't really care about song structure and add more breakdowns and stuff again, so.
Going more hardcore?
A little more, yeah.
I would say my two favorites were, and some of their earlier releases, but Bury Your Dead and Come Back Kid. We also like listening to bands like Darkest Hour, some of their earlier stuff. We really like. As far as underrated,
Bayside's underrated.
Bayside is underrated. Definitely, that's actually it. My taste of cake.
Is there any place you guys haven't been to that you're trying to get to, play? Place that is on your to-do list?
Try to do a USO show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We want to play a show for the troops.
I respect that, man. That is solid.
Yeah, that, and we're really excited to go to South America, like he just said.
Absolutely.
This will be our first time.
I would like to go to Russia sometime.
No.
Whenever we get to.
What music have you guys been listening to?
We normally listen to Gaia Bleeds by Set Your Goals or some rap. Rap gets us pretty crazy.
Parkway Drive.
Hatebreed. Anything to get you in on that level. You're just ready to like
Kill someone.
rip someone's head off.
The album was mixed by multi-platinum award-winning record producer David Bendeth and Dan Corneth, who's notably worked with Breaking Benjamin, Paramore, Papa Roach, Lamb of God, and My Chemical Romance. The album was mastered by Ted Jensen, who's known for having mastered many recordings, including the Eagles' Hotel California, Green Day's American Idiot, and Norah Jones's Come Away With Me. On January 6, 2011, the band released the music video for the single, All I Want. The video, which was filmed in October of 2010, features members from numerous musical groups. On January 11th, 2011, the band made their national television debut while performing the songs All I Want and Better Off This Way on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Full performance at JimmyKimmelLive.com. Once again, a day to remember. Good night.
Like, it was a teaser yesterday in Orlando because 4/5 of the band just moved to Orlando. Like, we have all places and stuff, so it's like, yeah.
We were broke as hell about 3 years ago. I didn't give anybody anything. I didn't even have money.
I'd give IOUs.
It's actually been really cool for us because we're a band that can go on tour with like a really poppy like set of bands and then come off and go on tour with like the heaviest group of people, and we do well on both of them, and people can't do that, so we draw from a lot of different places. It's incredible.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, that's an easy one.
Well, I'd probably have to say our drummer Alex's Shellnut's really smelly body. I was gonna say feet, but he's just a smelly guy.
Oh, there you go.
So he always smells. I love him, but it's rough when you're sleeping underneath him.
It's funny, Airborne Toxic Event were in here right before you, and they got the same question. They also had the exact same answer.
Is it the drummer too?
No, it was your drummer. They said
My
that
drummer,
your
okay.
drummer, he was smelly, and that was their biggest pet peeve.
I mean, I completely understand them saying that.
Yeah.
Kind of funny though, coming from the Airborne Toxic Event.
My favorite tattoo?
Yeah.
This one?
Oh, Blink-182.
Yeah. It's also pretty shitty done.
Were you guys jealous that Jimmy was on Pawn Stars? I was actually on that Vegas trip with him. I was gambling, and he had never been to the Pawn Stars place, so him and two of my friends went there, and they're just like, you look like you'd be in a band. You know, you're gonna come and sell this guitar on the show or whatever. It wasn't mine. Yeah. No. So, no, we were stoked. He like texted me. He's like, I'm about to be on Pawn Stars. Like, sent me a picture of the dudes. I was just like, it's insane. And I went on to gamble. So.
I'm surprised I didn't like recognize you guys. Like,
yeah, I don't know. They're older guys though. Like, yeah. Over at the shop, so I don't know.
Beginning in March to help promote What Separates Me From You, ADTR went on the Game Changers tour.
Too good.
This is our very last date of our current tour, the Game Changers tour. Thank you guys for coming out and showing us some fucking love. It's been rad. $20 roll. I fucking love you, for real. Here we go. I got a question for everybody out there before we play some more songs. Cowboy, light these fine people up. How you doing? Very nice, Cowboy. So here's what we're gonna do. How many people out there checked out our last record, Homesick? Anybody? Do you guys might have? I see this guy. He definitely heard it. I believe that one. Here we go. This song right here is one of the heaviest songs we've ever written. You like heavy music? And this song's for you. This song's called Mr. Highway, singing about the end. Up in this fucking place, up St. Pete. You got something to prove?
Several tracks from the album have appeared in MTV show Jersey Shore. Six of the band's 10 tracks are currently available on the Rock Band games. It was important to the band that Sticks and Bricks open the album, as it was an in-your-face song. Jeremy said in an interview with USA Today that the opening lyric, "I am fueled by all forms of failure," was 100% directed at everyone who ever doubted our band. He also said that it's one of the meaner, heavier songs that they've ever done as a band. All I Want is, quote, about being in a band, Jeremy said, and was one of the final songs written for the album. The song came about from an idea by McKinnon that he expanded on guitar in the middle of recording for the album, and wrote most of it in one night. Jeremy also said that song was more of a, quote, singing version of the band's song I'm Made of Wax, Larry, What Are You Made Of? It's Complicated was written while the band were abroad in Amsterdam. The original version differed significantly from the final version.
How is Tom doing? Is he still doing studio work and everything?
Yeah, Tom's doing, he's recording. He's been recording a lot of bands recently, and he's still good old Tom.
Tom, yeah.
Head tattoo.
Yeah, his forehead says invincible. He's getting his entire head.
He has a giant Jesus on top. Yeah, he went to the hospital. He's got Jesus on his
Yeah, and he almost lost his liver or something like that. Something like that.
Sammy Castro on YouTube would like to know your scariest fan experience.
We're playing a show in Indiana, and we're playing one of our poppiest songs ever, Monument, and a kid gets stabbed and thrown underneath our stage.
At 3 in the morning.
Happened in Virginia.
A gang came up because people were making fun of them, and they were going to shoot up the church.
Really old stories. That is a good one.
Wait, a gang came into your show?
Came to our show.
Across the street at this, it was like this Christian venue they had, and we were doing a show across the street. Some kids went across at this Jiffy store, and they like insulted like these dudes, and they came back with a bunch of their boys. They were in like a gang. They all had like machine guns and shit, and they were gonna shoot up the whole church.
This fucking church, and we're just like, oh my god.
The last video you did was All I Want.
Yeah.
As most people know, there's a gazillion bands on there. I think most of those bands on the video are bands that you thank on your new release.
Right.
But how did Trivium end up on that?
They ended up on it because it was actually in Australia. We played Soundwave 2 years ago, and we were playing, and we were headlining this like metal stage, and we were kind of weirded out by it because it was actually the first time we'd been to Australia on Homesick, and it was like at the end of the record cycle. So I mean, we didn't really know what to expect from the crowd, so we were there kind of setting up our equipment early, and then the singer of Trivium walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, I really love your new record. I just want to come over here and introduce myself and tell you that I think it's awesome. I'm really excited to see you guys tonight." I'll never forget that. I mean, Trivium's like this crazy metal band, so I mean, it definitely, and you don't usually get people that treat you like that in the metal world. So I mean, especially our band, because we're like a band that's kind of straddles the fence on a lot of different genres, and a lot of people don't take kindly to that. So, you know, it was cool. Like, he was really nice, and we became friends with him and the rest of the band throughout the trip. So yeah, it just kind of made sense when he came down to make the video.
This Is the House That Doubt Built was among one of the first songs to be written for the album, written almost in one sitting while McKinnon had his acoustic guitar with him while the band was abroad. Second Sucks was about people who viewed being in a band as being a sort of competition. Better Off This Way was one of the first written for the album, and was rewritten at least 3 different times. That song was the final one finished for the album. Jeremy said the song All Signs Point to Lauderdale is about feeling like you're stuck in a place that's leading you nowhere, and standing up for yourself and taking charge of your life. UB Tales I'll Be Sonic was written with the band's former guitarist, Tom Denny. The song was made up of several separate pieces from different song ideas, with the chorus McKinnon had to rewrite 4 times. Referring to UB Tales I'll Be Sonic, Kevin Scaff said the song's title, a reference to Tails and Sonic from the video game series, had really come out of nowhere. Jeremy McKinnon said that the song is more of a personal song. It discusses how the choices I've made to put my best foot forward in my career, in a sense, have really done damage to my personal life.
My favorite video game would probably have to be Zelda Ocarina of Time.
It's crazy the meaning people get behind our songs and stuff, man. It's like, you come to some of our shows and, like, when we play headlining shows, I'm sure it'll be like this today, but sometimes, man, it's almost like and I know this sounds crazy, but, like, these kids, like, are so passionate about some of these songs. It's just like, it's almost like a spiritual experience. It's like crazy, man. You're just up there, it's like, I don't even understand it myself. It's like, yeah, this is what I went through in my life, and these songs make me feel better too, but it's crazy to see that help other people too, man. That's, to me, I mean, what's more important than that? If you can play shit that you care about, and it's helping somebody else get through some shit in their life, I think that's incredible.
What have you been listening to lately on the road? You must not like to listen to metal or other stuff while you're playing and stuff.
I
mean country.
Well, yeah, I was listening to a little bit of country before we came on the bus. But no, I've been listening to a lot of Ghost Inside.
Oh, they're so good. We talked to them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I love those guys. They're one of my favorite new up and coming bands. But other than that, man, I'll just listen to like Maxwell and D'Angelo. Like the weird R&B stuff where dudes have abs.
Your latest record, What Separates Me From You, hands down my favorite. I bought it from iTunes the day it came out because I didn't have time to run to the store. Yeah. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy it on iTunes, and I'm so glad that I did. It's amazing.
iTunes. It's the best. I buy all my new music from iTunes.
And you know what, with the price of gas these days, you just log online.
Yeah. It's like $9.99 for the full CD, and you can just save on gas, you just download it. It's awesome.
I think that's what we've always been about, is trying to like bridge a gap between 2 different styles of music. So like when you come to the Day to Remember show, you're getting 2 different things. You're getting, like, for a kid who just likes pop punk music and likes our band because of that side of our music, comes to our show and they see a hardcore show, like, you know what I mean, and that's way different from what people are used to. And it's just like, I think that's one of our strong points as a band. It's like people come to our shows and it's like you've never seen anything like that. Like when it comes to like people who just like heavy music, they come and they see like kids singing along like every word of every song. It's like, you know, it's just like a different thing. Like combining the 2 things, I think we draw from a lot of different places, and you know, I think we're really fortunate that we can do that.
Both UB Tales, I'll Be Sonic, and Out of Time talk about, quote, how I feel like I'm doing what I want with my life, but I think, wow, I just did something that really affected me. Out of Time was also one of the first songs written for the album, and was written while the band was in Australia. Jeremy said that song was the most personal one on the album. Kevin Scaff had a major hand in writing the song, If I Leave. The song describes different things you got through being on the road, and quote, a relationship ending when you're not really around enough to actually take care of it in person. On being asked whether he knew it would be the final song on the album, Jeremy said, it just felt right. Seemed like a good ending.
I have seen some pictures. We get sent pictures of you guys on stage and the show. I mean, just watching that sea of people, it is amazing. So I can't wait to see that here, Earth Day Birthday 18, because it's a pretty picture that I look at. They keep sending them, every single one, from all these different shows.
What's been a crowd favorite for as far as the music you guys are playing on this set list?
I think Second Sucks has been going really crazy.
All I Want picked up like big
All
time.
I Want.
Some big energy there. know, there's a few songs that kids just really go crazy for.
One of the first songs that we started playing was All Signs Point to Lauderdale. Is there a story behind the creation of that song?
Yeah, definitely. That song was actually, the music for it was actually written for our record Homesick, and it was like our favorite song, like the music anyways, that we had wrote for that whole record. We're like, oh yeah, this is the best music we wrote, this is going to be a great song. But then like when it came time to start writing for it, the guy who was producing our record, Chad Gilbert, he's like, oh, I hear something in my head, and then he's like, here, give me this microphone, I'm going to show you my idea. And he records this song idea, and he uses
some profane lyrics.
He's singing about male testicles the entire time. He's like,
is that a word?
I got big balls, I got big balls. And it's,
Was it a tribute to AC/DC gone wrong, or what?
No, I mean, he was just legitimately trying to show me his idea, but it was actually a really good idea. And then I would try to figure out a way to reword the whole thing, but there was just no way to do that, and it completely ruined writing the song for me. So it took me 2 whole years to be able to actually write a different chorus for that song that I actually liked enough to use, because it was too good of a song to just waste on a block chorus. So I waited, and there it is.
ADTR filmed the music video for All Signs Point to Lauderdale in one day in Los Angeles when the group had a day off from touring. It was released through MTV2 on June 7th. The band was a part of Vans Warped Tour 2011 from June 24th to August 14th. It was revealed in September that It's Complicated would be released as the third single from the album on October 25th, though it was only released as a radio single.
We usually put a really heavy song right here, but since tonight's a fucking celebration, because 2 reasons. 1, because we're in New Jersey, and 2, this is the biggest headlining show a Day to Remember's ever played. So it's a celebration, and we're gonna celebrate by playing a song that we named after you because you're the shit. This song's called New Jersey Bleeds and I See. Sit the right wings up, sit the right one leg, take it out.
He engineered both records. Chad Gilbert from New Found Glory produced both records. Yeah. Talking about Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew's the shit. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there any significance for the guys facing backwards on the album?
This is what happened. You can't really tell because don't count that one. The actual first record, I didn't even notice this. This wasn't meant to happen whatsoever until we got to here. And then I'm kind of looking back at all the other artwork, I'm like, shit. There's a guy with his back to you on every single album, except for on record. But the original version of it had a guy with his back facing you, so I was like, why mess up a good thing?
Describe the person next to you using one word. Mysterious. Mysterious. Why do you say that? Because most people can't read him. They think totally different things about him than he really is. What do people think he is? An asshole. And that's not true?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Okay. How about this guy? What would you say?
Outrageous. That's, I don't know.
Outrageous?
Absolutely.
This is the house that Doubt built.
Yeah, there's a few people who want to know what's that song about. If you can just give us a little.
That song's just about I don't know, man. It's about music, just in general, like the feeling like no matter what's going on in your life, like at least for me, like music is something that makes me feel better about what's going on with me. Like I could have
the crappiest week, the crappiest month, crappiest year, and I could go see a band that I really enjoy play some songs that really meant something to me, and it just takes all that away. It's about being at a show and, you know, getting that feeling like, you know, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, and I feel better. That's what that song's about.
So I have to ask, what's the significance of the album cover? The back looks really sketchy.
The back?
Yeah.
Where he's in the sand?
It doesn't look like he's in the sand.
It looks like he's in butt cheeks, kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty tame, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We like guys' butts.
I don't know, I'm just asking.
Actually, this is kind of funny. This is really funny. Vegan from Bring Me the Horizon, since we're on the subject of butts, says, hey, you know you guys wrote some pretty controversial lyrics, right? And I go, wait, I don't understand what's going on. He's like, in the song, it's complicated, the first 2 lines of the song. So I say the first 2 lines of the song, I was like, here we go again, another night of being bummed. He's like, yeah, man, that last word, you know what that means in the UK? And I was like, well, I don't know, dude. And it's butt sex. You know?
Oh, no way.
So pretty much in the UK, they're singing, here we go again, another night of being butt sexed.
That's fantastic.
The song You Be Sonic, I'll Be Tails. Were any of you big Sonic the Hedgehog fans? Because I know I was. I played it on the...
Sonic 3, the best. The best.
Yeah, I agree. Sonic the Hedgehog is the ish.
Yes.
When I listen to that, what I love about your songs too, even back in the day, you name them such like obscure names, and it has nothing to do with the song, but it's hilarious. I think that's what separates you guys from a lot of other bands when it comes to naming the songs. So.
Yeah, we never wanted to take ourselves too seriously. We kind of just wanted to have a good time with our music and just, I mean, the songs and the actual lyrical content actually like mean a lot and are just very personal sometimes, but we wanted to keep it pretty lighthearted with the names.
It was definitely a surprise. I remember where we were. We were at our friend's like tattoo shop, just hanging out with him, and we got a call from our manager telling us our first day sales, which was like 9,000 copies, and we had bets like with like our management and like our booking agent and everyone we're involved with, like with how much it would do first week, and mine was 9,000. So it did in one day what I expected to do for the entire first week. So I mean, it was awesome. You know, I mean, we've been working at this for a long time and we've been working really hard. So it was, I don't know, you can't really describe it. It was just something we were really stoked on.
Just be over like your girlfriend's like house and like her little brother wanting to go download like, you know, some pop act or whatever, and like on the iTunes chart, like our name being next to like Britney Spears and like, you know, stuff like that. There just was like, didn't make any sense, you know. So it was a complete shock. It was huge. So
I think I've only missed like 2 years of Warped Tour the whole time that they've had it.
Wow, that's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, I think that was probably one of the biggest crowds for a state. I mean, that I've seen since I've been here. Congratulations about that.
Thank you so much. We're just grateful. I mean, to be a part of it is awesome, but you know, then when kids want to stick through the heat all day. We were the last band, you know, so it's like it's insane that kids will do that. So we're just grateful. It's insane.
On December 15th, 2011, it was announced that A Day to Remember planned to press charges against their label, Victory, due to breach of contract. Legal action had reportedly been initiated on May 31st of that year, with the band claiming Victory owed them over $75,000 in royalties. Victory has said that the lawsuit is actually about the band's refusal to fulfill their 5-album contractual commitment and their desire to move to a major label. A Day to Remember gave altpress.com the following statement. A Day to Remember would like to make it clear that they did not announce nor seek any attention regarding their ongoing suit with Victory Records. This information has been public record since May of 2011, and they have no intention of speaking publicly or disparagingly regarding their disagreement with Victory. A Day to Remember will continue to release music for their fans and are looking forward to touring in 2012. Beginning in January 2012, the band went on tour supporting Rise Against throughout the US, with the tour spreading over 2 legs, and the band performing in Australia and New Zealand between 2 tour parts. On February 27, 2012, the band released Second Sucks as the 4th single and music video. What Separates Me From You peaked at number 11 on the US Billboard 200, becoming a day to remember's personal best, as Homesick peaked at number 21.
Well, we did the Homesick sessions last record, just like a whole bunch of really awkward, funny videos, well, trying to be funny videos. Right. So we just wanted to do that again for this record, just to keep people interested in us while we're not touring, while we're not putting out any music, just do something.
The best part was that nobody thought it was weird that these 2 kids were out naked with blood on them.
Oh, hell yes, they did. There was people sitting on top of cars that were on blocks watching us go by like, this is not happening right now.
So did you finally get a cab, or how does the story play
We
out?
waited at a really sketchy convenience store right down the street for one of our friends to come pick us up, and when he did, he had our other friend with him, and he was like, I told you shouldn't have gone back there. All signs pointed to Lauderdale, man. All signs pointed to Lauderdale. I just wrote that down and I used it as a joke to make those guys laugh a few years later.
Are you guys excited for Harry Potter?
Yes!
We have midnight tickets for tomorrow.
Wait! Kevin's going tomorrow.
In all
What is that
seriousness,
supposed to mean?
I threatened our tour manager's life
He did.
over this movie because I've been telling him for a week to buy me tickets to this thing.
It's a tradition.
It's a tradition. I've always been at the midnight showings of all the movies.
You don't strike me as the type of guys to be with Shark Tanks and Ferraris.
No, probably not.
Shark Tanks? That
Yeah.
sounds pretty
Shark
sick.
Tank, all right, never mind. Let me take Shark Tanks off the table. Ferraris and gold-plated houses.
It'd be like giant comic book collections.
Yeah?
And,
I'll stick with my 300.
Video game consoles that haven't come out yet or something.
You take the Mark Hoppus route. It's like, yeah, I've got $1 billion. I invested in Simpsons toys.
Exactly.
There we go.
I have a Star Wars collection.
I'm trying to collect Spider-Man comics.
Really?
Trying.
Now,
don't buy them.
do you feel
there's a lot of bands where they've got all different types of people who show up at the show, but your kind of shows, you can have 13 or 14-year-old girls in the front row tonight, but you can have some muscleheads slamming behind them. Is it that way everywhere?
Yeah, it's a strange thing, man. It's our band is funny like that. Like we'll play these really heavy songs, and these huge guys will like kick the crap out of each other, and then the same guys will be like crying with their fucking hands in the air. Sorry, I don't know if you can have that on there, but hands in the air, crying to an acoustic song. It's a weird mix of people, man. It's cool though. It's definitely an experience.
If you could bring back one deceased famous figure from any time in history for a guest spot on the next album, and
did you say diseased?
No, deceased.
Oh, I was like,
so any dead guy from the history. You can bring back Abraham Lincoln if you want to the guest spot and tour with you. Who would you bring?
well, we have to do the This Is It.
Gotta reach over.
Say
MJ.
Michael Jackson.
MJ.
Freddie Mercury. That'd be sick. I'd have him
As
sing.
one kid.
I would have him sing.
As one person's mouth.
Yeah,
One person.
I would take their jeans and like split them and then make the sickest fucking.
Hey, Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, and Elton John. And Lady
Elton
Gaga.
John
Elton John's not
live.
dead, and neither is Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
We just mix them all.
But you guys have had a very good 2011 so far, especially January in particular, because the record came out 2010, but starting in January, you guys were on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and that was your first national television debut. I did not know that.
Yeah, it was scary. Seriously, I was like, I'm gonna mess up. I'm scared. My mom's gonna see me mess up.
Did any of your family members go to the live recording?
No, like it was kind of last minute, and like we were in the middle of like touring, and so we flew out there. But like we made sure to have my mom TiVo it and everything.
Say holding it down for the underground is mine. I don't know, just like right when we started getting some of the mixes back, we were in Australia, and that just was a song that is really like it just sounded really good recorded, and I don't know, it was just I liked it a lot.
I really like I Made a Wax Larry, and I just like the song. I think it's good. I think it's a little different than like a lot of the stuff we've done. So I think it was like branching out kind of.
The album also reached #1 on several charts, including top hard rock albums, top independent albums, top modern rock/alternative albums in the US, and the rock album chart in the UK. In its first month, the album sold over 80,000 copies. By April of 2011, the album had sold 152,000 copies in the US and 300,000 copies by January 2013. In March of 2016, What Separates Me From You was certified gold in the US with 500,000 certified sales. In August, All I Want was certified gold, and in December, the album was certified silver in the UK.
By the end of 2011, you guys will have sold close to 1 million records, and that's saying a lot, because you're a band who is also simultaneously very artistically respected. And a lot of times, bands that get commercially successful don't oftentimes have that, And how has it been difficult for you guys to kind of toe that line?
We've always been really accepted from like fans and people coming to our shows, but it's actually been harder for us to actually be taken serious by bands that we tour with and people in the industry. So it's a lot harder to convince those kind of people. It's kind of gotten to the point now where it's like you can't really describe it to people, you just have to see it.
Right.
It's almost helped us.
It has helped us because people always underestimate what we do, and then they come and see us, and it's just like, wow, they just weren't expecting it, and it really helps us out.
What's your favorite song off the album?
Okay, good. We can have other people answer this too. My personal favorite, I don't know, to be honest with you, I really like a lot of them. This record's really personal to me. And I'd say if I had to pick one right now, I would say It's Complicated, which is track 3.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the number, but...
You do know the number.
No, I don't. All signs point to the Lauderdale. Yes,
7.
Yeah.
They don't know the names to these songs yet.
We don't know.
7.
Neil said 7.
No, that's the same thing. That's what yours is.
That's
7.
what mine is.
So what's yours?
So what's yours? 1 through 10.
Yeah. 11.
I like Sticks and Bricks. Number 1.
To be honest with you, man, our band is the most boring band ever. We literally like hanging out on our tour bus is like hanging out with your parents or something. If your parents didn't drink. So, I mean...
The one single that you guys had, All I Want, the video, how was it like filming that? Because I know you had your old guitar player in it and also a couple other celebrities, if you will, like Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy, he was in it. I know that had to have been fun.
It was awesome. It was cool because we didn't have to be there. It was unlike any other music video. Like, we got to sit at home while everyone else was shooting the music video. So, like, that was cool. And, like, we just asked all of our friends, and we're just thankful that many said yes.
Kind of, just because I think, we've done so many tours with them, and not solely for that reason. We like them as people, too, but we kind of click really, really well with the Devil Wears Prada. They're kind of like our brother band, I guess. Just nice kids, and, just fun to be around on the road with. And then when we went on the Newfound Glory tour, that was really cool too, because it was a band that is, if you ask anybody in the band, they'd say it was one of our top influences, like that band's from Florida. We just love everything they've done, and ended up being really, really normal, cool guys too. It wasn't, when you go to see your favorite band, they're on a tier, you think of them being some, just like larger than life thing, and they weren't. They were just normal people, so it was really sweet.
Shortly after the end of Warped Tour in July of 2011, the band decided to take a break to compose new material. In an interview with Alternative Press in November, Jeremy said that after the band's done touring in Europe, the group would be recording their next album. In an interview with Alternative Press in November of 2011, Jeremy said that he's been writing constantly for the course of the 2 years that the band's been touring, and he's really happy with the material accumulated up to that point. On May 10th, 2012, ADTR said live on stage that the band's new album would be titled Common Courtesy. 4 days later, the band started recording for their new album. In September, the band confirmed that they were once again working with Chad Gilbert. While in the middle of recording Common Courtesy, the band played a hometown gig on November 21st.
Every record's been completely different. The biggest difference between this one is, like he's saying, the way it was done. Homesick was recorded, or at least written on the road as well, but this one was different because we were actually prepared. Homesick was kind of like a last minute thing. You know, it had been like 2 years we were touring on For Those Who Have Heart, and the guys at Victory hit us up and they're like, hey, you know, it's been like 2 years, you should probably think about turning in a new record. And we were like, we haven't wrote anything. So it was kind of last minute. We put it together, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Obviously, it was an awesome record. But this one we were a little bit more prepared for. We learned lessons on working on that record, and we worked on it slowly over the course of 2 years. So that was the main difference, being prepared.
The song that was leaked, I believe it's called When Three's a Crowd. What is the story behind that? Like, because I never heard anything other than your tweet about it sucks when somebody steals your music.
Yeah, that was a song that me and I don't even remember who else was involved in it. It was just like a random acoustic song that I think me and our friend Tom did together, and it wasn't really meant for anything. It was just for us. And yeah, somehow that got put out there. And I don't know, I did that when I was really young, and I don't know, it was kind of personal and felt like some of it was kind of cheesy. So, you know, something that you never wanted people to hear, and it got out. So it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, it's an awesome song. I mean, I know a lot of people enjoy it, but
thanks.
My second question was, is there going to be a special edition of What Separates Me From You that you're going to release?
I'm pretty sure we're not going to be doing that. We didn't really feel the need to do that.
And it's special enough as it is.
It is special.
Special to me.
Some people want to know the dog tags that you wear.
Just got them with some friends of mine, a few of the guys from Devil Wears Prada, and their merch guy. Nothing crazy, just some stuff with some friends. I get that all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So clearing that up.
All right, yeah. So they're not your girlfriend's
I was not
dog
in the military.
A lot of girls want to know if they're your girlfriends or something.
I have no girlfriend.
You have no girlfriend. Okay. That was one of the questions from our viewers. How does your girlfriend feel about you being on tour? Do you have a girlfriend?
She didn't feel very good about it, so I don't have one.
Very good, very good.
What albums or artists do you listen to when you guys work out?
I listen to Bring Me the Horizon, Suicide Season. That's the best, or Bury Your Dead.
Bury Your Dead.
When it has a good rhythm or it's really bouncy, when you just like you can run to it, it's the best.
That's not really like the style of band we are. Where we came from, we had a lot of shitty things happen to us because you know we haven't done a lot of headlining stuff, and we've done a lot of support stuff. So there's been a lot of times where we got screwed over with like the tour and everything, and like with what people do for their show, and like, you know, like leaving a drum set up and you have to set up in front of it. You know, it's like that's like half the stage, and it like dramatically affects like how well you can play. And it's like we've had a lot of shitty stuff happen to us, and we really want to go out of our way to try to be like a band that's nice to the other bands. You know what I mean? Like that, because we came from like a position where people, you know, right,
looked at you as the, you know, first of five, you know, and treated you like that. We want people to leave the Day to Remember tour being like, that was the coolest band we've ever toured with.
I wrote a song a long time ago at my parents' garage.
A video counting down from the number 21 was posted online in early December.
And it was about this year, actually. It's weird.
In the video, Jeremy McKinnon stated that, quote, "This is some of the best material that we've written. I know people say that every album, but I know it is." A lot of people thought this was a countdown to their next album, but instead, on December 21st, the band released the track Violence, and Enough Is Enough on their website, which was confirmed to appear on Common Courtesy.
This is a new song. It's called Violence.
Jeremy McKinnon said that the music video was supposed to be filmed and released for Violence Enough Is Enough on the same day, but it just didn't turn out that way. We're trying to get things done as fast as possible, but it just hasn't been working out. Despite a statement on October 17, 2012 by producer Chad Gilbert stating that the album might be finished within a week, by the time Violence Enough Is Enough was released, the album was only partly recorded. In an interview with Kerrang! Magazine, Jeremy said that there would be 5 heavy songs appearing on the album.
Brisbane, how many people out here like fucking heavy music? That's what I'm talking about. Want to play our heaviest song of the day for you? Let's get fucking loose! This song's called Second Socks, and they ain't moving. Fucking move them!
McKinnon said that the album would be a reflection on our history, on how small-town kids playing music that doesn't really make sense to the world ended up on the main stages of some of the biggest music festivals around the world. Jeremy also confirmed that the opening track would be City of Ocala.
Not a song on this new album that's got kind of a feel like If It Means a Lot to You does? If It Means a Lot to You wasn't even, that just kind of happened. It wasn't even meant to be on the A Day to Remember record. It was just a song that existed. And then when it was finished, I kind of brought it to the guys and I was like, I think this would be a really cool way to end this album. Because it kind of, it's right in the vein of what we were talking about. And it felt like an ending kind of song. I brought to them, they really liked it. We made a lot of changes to it and stuff with Chad and everything. And yeah, so it wasn't something that was planned. It just happened. I'm glad it happened. But you know what I mean? Like, we just kind of write whatever comes out naturally. And nothing like that happened this time around. So just because something did well doesn't mean we're going to go back and necessarily try to recreate something. You know, it's kind of more about what comes naturally in the flow of things.
Jeremy just let me know he recorded the vocals for that song in a closet in New Jersey.
It's true.
Who directed that the video, All I Want video?
It's directed by Drew Rust, the guy who does all our video stuff, like all the funny stuff we do online. And
Did he just grab footage and will you put the call out to just everyone from Catch the Veil, everyone?
Yeah, we hit up pretty much everybody that was in our thank you list and more people, like bands that we just, loved and wanted to be a part of it. And the people who could make it happen in the time frame we were working with got to be in it, and the people who couldn't, they couldn't. So Drew flew around, got a lot of stuff, and then some people got their own people to do it and sent it in, and then he put it all together. He shot the live stuff in Orlando, and he's awesome in what he does, so we were really happy that he got that big MTV look and stuff, because he's just this guy from Ocala that's been working his ass off this whole time just like us, so it was cool to have him involved, and it turned out great. So it's one of my favorite videos we've ever done.
Well, I mean, we pretty much just write, everyday type songs. We're not writing songs about random stuff. It's everyday stuff that everybody goes through. So I mean, if you listen to A Day to Remember record, any record by A Day to Remember, it's something that you can relate to, and I definitely think that means a lot to our fans, that every song is something that they've been through, or that they're gonna go through in their life. And I don't know, I just try to keep a level head when it comes to what we write about, because I'm not the kind of person who's gonna start writing songs about fucking, I don't know, space and shit.
There's no gimmick. It's
right.
What you hear and what you see is what you get. So if you're not into it, we understand that people are into different things. But I think, like what Jeremy said, is a reason that a lot of people get into the band is because it can relate to anybody, any walk of life. You know what I mean?
On this CD, what we tried to do is
on prior CDs, we would write songs, we'd demo them out, and then we'd say, oh, we have this songs for the record, let's go record them. With this CD, we were like, it's going to be different. We just want as many ideas as we can going into the studio so that we can actually take our time and like lay all the ideas out and then really use them as they should be, you know, like if we have like 100 heavy parts, you can make like 50 songs, you know, like 50 heavy songs with that, or you can make like a pop song with a breakdown, or if we have like a full song, or Jeremy brings a song to us like, hey, we have this chorus, a bridge, or whatever, we need like a heavy verse, it's like, well, we have this 75 heavy riffs we could listen to and see which one fits perfectly with the feel of this song. So that's what we're really focusing on, is just recording tons of ideas and getting everything that we have in our heads just so everyone else can listen to it, you know?
My skateboard company, Golden Eagle, just got in our first skate shop in Orlando.
I tell any kid that asks me how to scream or whatever, or anything like that, I always tell them that the only thing I've ever done is work with you, so.
Thanks, Johnny. I have this Hall of Fame, and one of the prerequisites for getting in the Motocross Hall of Fame is to be able to sing and scream in the same line without a hitch. And you do the best transitions of anybody.
In a tweet posted on February 18th, 2013, the band said they were still working on the album. In an interview that same month, Jeremy said that the delay in releasing the material was not due to the band's lawsuit against the record label Victory, but down to the number of songs for the album, and that the band were still working that out. ADTR had recorded an amount of material equal to that of literally 3 or 4 albums worth, McKinnon said. If you're putting out 15 plus tracks on a record, that can be dangerous. It's hard for even your biggest fans to stay with you that long. Jeremy mentioned that the band had financed the recording themselves and had been recording at McKinnon's home studio, built specifically for the making of this album. The recording studio cost $40,000 for Jeremy and producer Andrew Wake to build. The rest of the band members paid $20,000 of the total. What separates me from U's mixing engineer, Dan Corniff, helped build various equipment for the studio, such as several audio compressors. The band's original guitarist, Tom Denny, was present for and had played a part in the recording. Jeremy said he was just like another member of our band, like he used to be. This is going to be a really special album because of it. Jeremy said that the band had a total of 40 songs to work with, and quote, there was just this wave of songwriting that happened in the last year. We have so much stuff that is just a completely different experience. We've never had this much of it, and it's never been this good right from the start. In an interview from March of 2013, Jeremy said that the band always puts one of the best heavy songs out first. Then they follow that up with a more well-rounded song that appeals to everybody.
Your dad's favorite band and your dad's.
The Allman Brothers.
Do people ask if A Day to Remember are a Christian band? They're not a Christian band.
Well, we're just kind of, I mean, some people are, some people aren't. We just don't talk about religion, really. The only time we've ever talked about religion is in the song Why Walk on Water When We've Got Boats, and a lot of people took that song the wrong way. Some people got it right, but you know, that actually isn't a song about, it's not an anti-religion song, it's actually an anti-claiming something that you don't follow is what it's really about, because back in the day we would tour with bands that were like open Christian bands, and you know, they'd be on stage talking about God every night, and then they'd come off stage and they were the worst dudes that we've ever toured with in our entire career. And I actually grew up going through like a Christian school like until I was in like 6th grade, so I take all that stuff really serious, and especially at that point in my life, I wanted to hear those guys say something that made me feel better, you know what I mean? Like, I want you to say something that's going to change my life on stage. They never could, and they were like crappy people, so I don't know, I think that's really important. If you're going to claim something and you're going to be somebody who's like speaking for something, I think you should follow what you're saying. That's all. That's what that song means.
There was a lot of talk, you know, a lot of talk lately about you guys leaving Victory Records. Did you sign to someone else? Is there someone on the horizon you're looking at? Or just kind of hanging out right now?
right now we're just writing and doing our thing. We don't really worry about that. We're just kind of trying to be us. We don't really. I don't even think about it really. I don't put two thoughts into it.
Three-part harmony on the word bitch.
Okay,
That's never happened before.
Not happened for sure. Dogs.
There's only one dog.
Dog on the album. There's a dog.
One dog.
Makes a guest appearance.
It's a pug.
It is a pug. It's my pug.
He's beautiful. His barks are beautiful. And he makes that song beautiful. Beautiful songs. Because before our songs were kind of scary and just not really that attractive.
Okay.
These songs are fucking beautiful. Sounds like angels are singing them.
These sound like all positive things to me.
Influences. I like Blink-182. They really influenced me to play music.
MXPX, NoFX was really big for me too.
Bury Your Dead, the Acacia Strain, stuff like that.
Less Than Jake, all-time favorite.
Bill and Colin.
Yeah. The Ocala scene period influenced us a lot because it was only hardcore bands.
Everything. You know, your friends are all getting married while you're gone. They're starting to have kids. Your family's getting older, and you're not there for any of it. You know, you're out here doing this every day. So it's a lot that you sacrifice, but I think it's worth it. You know.
Is Violence a pretty good reputation overall of the whole album, or is it going to be kind of different types of styles here and there?
All over the place.
All over the place.
Like, to be honest with you, it's our most all over the place record.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty exciting for me too, because I don't really know. That's another thing we have to decide. We tracked a lot of songs for it, and we don't know how many we're going to put on the album. So that'll be interesting. It'll be the most songs that we come out the gate with ever. So there's enough. Well, the reason we did that, well, for one, is because we wrote a ton of songs that we loved. And then the other reason is we wanted to be able to put everything that people wanted from us on the record and make it be something that they're going to really care about. Make sure it's a song that, if it's a heavy song, make sure it's a heavy song people are really going to be happy with. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's a huge chunk of our record that's just aimed at those people that are fans of our band. And then we've got pop punk songs. We've got more alternative rock songs. We've actually got even slower songs than we've ever done. We've got an acoustic song. Like, it's everything that's ever been a Day to Remember times 10.
It's a totally different thing from a club show, so it's more or less, I'm kind of using these as a learning experience, kind of learning how to control that many people at one time. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Because he stays up all night on the phone.
It's weird. I, for some reason, wait till the sun comes up, and then I'm like, oh, now it's time to go to bed. And then I go to bed, and for whatever reason, I think it's okay to like look at the American time, like right before I go to bed. I'm like, oh, it's only 11 o'clock at home, p.m. I'm like, I'm fine. And then I go to sleep, and I wake up here, and it's like 3 p.m., and I'm like, God. Everyone's been out of their bunk for hours, and I'm like the last one on the bus. I just feel like the rapture has happened. I'm just like, where'd everybody go?
Your favorite singer at age 10?
Britney Spears. I don't know.
No, that's
It's weird.
Was it really?
Yeah, I liked her.
Hell yeah.
Maybe one more time.
You didn't expect, I've heard you say before, to be where you are now. Obviously, you are on Jimmy Kimmel. You probably one of the most successful bands on Victory Records of all time. How are you handling that? I mean, you're all young. How are you handling this? Because some people, it's a big challenge too.
I'm excited. I mean, a lot of people get really weird about it. I was actually pretty weird about it myself. During the writing process, after For Those Who Have Heart, going into Homesick, because we really toured For Those Who Have Heart to death, over 2 years, and we had nothing written for Homesick. And AP was saying our next record was one of the most anticipated records of 2009, and that was the first time it ever really hit me, wow, there actually is some weight on my shoulders here. And it actually kind of took me reading some interviews with other bands, and I saw the singer of Dead Poetic. I don't think they're even a band anymore, but I read an interview he did about writing records, and he said the most important thing is to just sit back and do what comes natural, and that helped me so much with everything. And ever since then, it's just like, I feel like I know exactly where we need to go. It's just a matter of getting there, and we've done everything I've ever wanted to do and more up to this point. So, it's kind of just wherever it takes us from here. I'm excited about the future.
You guys have always been, right out of the gate, always been huge in the UK, winning like crazy awards right away. How is it when you're playing over there versus, here?
To be honest, like Europe and the UK is like the New Jersey of the United States. They love music, they really care about it, they go out and support, they go to signings, they go to anything where you're gonna be at, and they just wanna support you and show that like, hey, what your band has done for me is amazing, and I'm just here to like say thank you.
We wrote this one on a computer in the van and in the bus and
random places around the world.
It was really weird getting in the computer. It's hard to do that.
Kind of like Tron.
Alex used to be a little pigsty, for sure.
The record reminds me more of Homesick than any record we've done. So it's gonna be kind of like that, more fun. Should be good.
On January 21st, 2013, A Day to Remember announced their headlining tour, Right Back at It Again, with Of Mice and Men, Chunk, No Captain Chunk, and Issues, to begin on March 20th. The band performed their new song, Right Back at It Again, at each show. Initially lasted until May 4th, but on May 17th, the tour was extended to include dates in Australia and July. The first episode of the Common Courtesy web series that humorously documents the making of the album was released on August 23rd.
We have to get this done.
I got it. We're gonna do something mysterious, that's it. Just hit record. A Day to Remember. Common Courtesy Studio updates. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. To be continued.
The following day, ADTR announced that the release date of their next album would be October 8th. A rap song in the second episode of the series titled Golden Eagle was released as a music video on September 4th.
One of the fucking coolest things to ever happen to Alex Shelnut.
And this song's for them fuck eagles who hating on this drummer.
And I think that's badass. Because he fucking sucked before.
It in public. Fuck him.
On September 11th, 2013, the band began their house party tour, where the new song Dead and Buried was played on the first night.
So we said, fuck that, we're just gonna play it fucking live. Is that cool with you guys? This song's a new song, it's called Dead and Buried.
On October 4th, it was announced that the band had won against Victory Records in the court case. The group, however, was still contractually obligated to owe the label at least 2 more albums. A Day to Remember's 5th studio album, Common Courtesy, was digitally self-released on October 8th, 2013. When asked what his inspiration has been, Jeremy replied that it's, quote, new stuff I'm listening to all the time. I listen to a bit of everything, then going on to name a few artists that he admires. Mumford & Sons, Living with Lions, and Coldplay, among others. Featured on multiple songs is in-studio banter, which Gregory Heaney calls a window into a creative process that sounds fun and relaxed.
The switch wasn't all that different from going from having a label to being independent, just because we've been pretty much running our whole thing by ourselves for years. Not by choice, but you know, when you work with somebody like that, you kind of have to do the majority of the work yourself and try to keep them as separate from what you're doing as possible, because that's kind of the way we had to do it.
I also would like to think of it like, you know, a slip and slide.
Okay.
Like you start here, which is victory, and you jump on the slide and you end up here, which is just like self-release. It's just a fucking, can I say that? I did. So, you end up here. It's really fast and fun, you know? You scream the whole time. There's a lot of soap.
A lot of screaming, yeah.
Yeah, I scream a lot, so it's fun. I like it.
And soap?
Yeah, you have to soap it up so you slide real fucking fast.
Gotcha.
We just kind of took the time to make the record we wanted to make, you know, take the time to get it right. We'd never had that before. There's always somebody breathing down your neck. You got to have it by this month. So we really took our time, made the best album we could, and then when it was done, the judge decided he'd let us put it out by ourselves. So here we are.
We heard a lot of people say like, oh, if you don't put out the record on Victory, you're just gonna hop to a major label. It's like, not necessarily, because major labels, like you're saying right now, are pretty much only interested in 360 deals. In a band like A Day to Remember, we have a worldwide fan base. We pretty much draw, you know, anywhere between 1,500 to 4,000 people anywhere we play on the planet. On the planet. We don't need a 360 deal. We don't need your promotion. We don't need whatever you're trying to sell us for getting the huge percentage you'd want from us. A major label has nothing to offer A Day to Remember in that sense. So it's this crazy thing where we kind of grew in the underground scene worldwide. We put in our work traveling the globe, you know, like playing for these people, and it's grown everywhere. So now we're this worldwide force. We're on main stages playing festivals, and we've never even had press in some of these countries. Like, literally, we've never had press, never really had a label presence in anywhere outside of the US, and we're just as big everywhere else as we are here. So we don't need major labels.
What music do you usually listen to while on tour?
I listen to everything. We've been listening to a lot of the new Story So Far record. That new one's pretty good. Then just, you know, normal bands that we, you know, are playing. I usually listen to whoever we're playing with that day, and we've been playing a lot with Limp Bizkit, so I've been listening to a lot of Limp Bizkit too.
What songs are you most proud of? I think we're spot on with that.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like Sometimes You're the Hammer, Sometimes You're the Nail. I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah. Current record, I really like Best of Me.
Yeah, that one's.
I like City of Ocala.
Jeremy McKinnon, along with Tom Denny and Andrew Wade, wrote, quote, the biggest songs on the album in a period of 5 days. Jeremy McKinnon said City of Ocala is about standing in the back garden of my parents' house and looking in the garage where we started, where we'd practice, and where we'd terrorize the neighborhood. And wouldn't you know, the song is about the band's hometown, Ocala, Florida. As Jeremy said, we've tended to be a little bit negative about Ocala, but as time goes on, we've learned to appreciate it more. Right Back at It Again was almost excluded from the album, as it was one of the excess songs the band had recorded. They said, we realized that it sounded great, so on it went. Sometimes You're the Hammer, Sometimes You're the Nail was the last song written for the album. The band wasn't pleased with the second verse, and so it was rewritten 4 times until the band thought it was satisfactory. Dead and Buried was a, quote, song that just came together, with minimal adjustments needed to it. Best of Me had, according to Jeremy, a Foo Fighters feel to it.
Coming up that you like? Like I said, I really like Transit. I've been listening to Transit like. I think they gave me the same feeling that I got like when I was listening to like early drive-through bands like Starting Line and stuff like that. Like I would listen to it and I'm just like, wow, this shit. It like, is this music made for me? Like, how do you know this shit is going on in my head? Like, how do you know this stuff? And they write these songs and it's like, fuck, this is like perfect for what's going on right now in my life. And I'm like, I needed this. I like search for bands like that. They give you that feeling, you know, like when you're driving in your car and the sun's setting and like you can just put on that one song that's just perfect for that mood, and it's like I search for that stuff, and I when you can actually find it and you're just like, fuck yes, like it's like the best feeling. I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I love music so much, is because just a band can invoke emotion in a situation where they're not even there.
Well, the goal for this album was just to get the album to the fans, because in our lawsuit, our label's whole game plan was to kind of stretch this out, to kind of force us into a corner to where we had to make a crappy deal with them to put it out, and they were hoping that the judge would not side with us, which would have completely stopped our career until it was solved in court, which could have been up to 2015. And who the hell is going to care about a record that was hyped 3 years ago in 2015? So at the end of the day, the only thing that mattered to actually keep this band relevant and keep us on track to doing what we wanted to do with our career was to put this album out for the fans, and that's what we did.
What are your most favorite bands to tour with?
My favorite bands to tour with, there's a lot of them, man. Prada, August Burns Red, Parkway Drive. We had a lot of fun with the Mice and Men. They were really good dudes.
Have you noticed the fan base getting older and those fans still latching on, or have younger fans kind of replaced them?
I'm telling you, man, this is crazy. It's a good question, because I've been noticing it this tour especially. We've been doing these meet and greets that we sold before this tour, so people meet us.
I've been seeing that on Facebook. That's awesome.
It's been awesome so far. We've been playing them like a new song from the record that isn't released, like stuff like that, like stuff that kids can like have a moment with us, you know. It's been really cool to see it happen, and just meeting all these people. It's crazy because every day there's a huge portion of them that come up to us and say, "This is my first concert ever. I love your band." First concert. Forget first rock show. First time seeing a band in a big venue. Like first concert.
That's
ever.
the first life experience.
Right, man. Like that's like something you remember forever. You know what I'm saying? Like we get that on a daily basis, and then we get dudes that are like older than I am coming to the shows being like, "I love your band. I love what you guys are about. I can't wait for the new album." So it's like it's growing everywhere. Like the people who have been into us for all these years are still there, still respect us for the most part. And then there's these younger kids too. And what's weird is they all embrace each other. It's not this weird thing where it's like, "Oh, younger kids are getting into this band. This is lame. I gotta get out of here." Because you'd expect that, you know what I mean? But it's a weird thing, man. It's like just more people are joining the club.
What do you think is different about this album than the last album?
I think that just the fact that we were rushed on the last album and we really didn't get to do everything we wanted to do. And this album, that was not going to be the case at all.
It's been the case for every album so far.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we actually got to sit down and get it right.
Who are your role models?
I would say one of my role models is Jesus and Mark Hoppus.
Maybe Safford.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
goes without saying.
I thought that he was under the encompass of Jesus.
Oh.
Trap Lord.
My role model is Neil.
How did Tom and Denny get involved, like back involved with sort of making the album and stuff?
Well, we just we did it how we always did it before, and we wrote with them, and we literally had him involved from the beginning until the very end. He played on the album. He sat in the room with us. He smelled like he always did.
Yeah, what did you miss about it most?
Smell.
Yeah.
And
the scent?
The stench. Oh, the scent. The scent.
Scent.
Yeah,
The
not the
scent.
stench.
We all know what common courtesy means, but what is the reason you chose this to be your album's title? Does it refer to anything? Or?
It does. First off, I just think it sounds good.
I thought of that actually almost 4 or 5 years ago, and kind of kept it around. I actually asked to name the last album Common Courtesy, but it just didn't feel right, so we didn't. And so on this one, when we did it, I knew immediately when the first few songs started coming in and we could really listen to what we were doing and get a feel for what the album was going to feel like. That name immediately, I knew it, and I didn't know it on the last album, so that was kind of interesting that happened all together. And the thought process is it ties in a lot with the artwork. If you notice, the front of the album, the cover, once you take off the slip, is the world view of a person from, face to face with what's going on around them. And then when the person's back is turned, it's a completely different scene of what's going on with the world, with people you thought you knew. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like to your face, behind your back. And the title, Common Courtesy, at least in my thoughts, was just a subtle way for us to say, we're all human beings and we should just be better to one another.
Yeah.
I'm Already Gone was written while the band was touring with Bring Me the Horizon in the UK, while McKinnon was on the tour bus, quote, a long time ago. This pegs the song to have been written in either October of 2009 or spring of 2011. Discussing violence, Enough is Enough in an interview, Jeremy said that the song was, quote, about different perspectives from the world and why people do terrible things to each other. When Jeremy originally began writing Violence, Enough is Enough, he said it was about feeling like you're helpless. After RevolverMag.com said the song sounded definitely more metal influenced, Jeremy replied that the band haven't had a huge metal influence since their For Those Who Have Heart album. Life at 11 had come about during the pre-production stage of the album. A lot of pre-production for the album and the song kind of fell out of thin air. I Surrender was written about 3 or 4 years ago. However, Jeremy didn't like the original version he wrote, but he always really loved it. So he later got it finished the way he wanted it to be. Life Lessons Learned the Hard Way was the last song written for the album. They were like, man, we need something heavy. The song actually came from a voice memo that was recorded. Jeremy and Andrew Wade messing around in the studio with an acoustic guitar. The song just came from something that Andrew played on that Jeremy thought was so awesome that the vocal line came more or less immediately to him. The document speaks for itself. It was the first song recorded for the album, and it's about the band's lawsuit with Victory. An early edit of the song surfaced online on October 8th, and it features an intro consisting of a voicemail left by Victory owner Tony Brummel saying he would sue the band. I Remember is a, quote, collection of memories about our whole time on the road and some of the crazy things that happened to us over the years.
What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't doing this? I don't know. I probably would have went to college and failed and partied too much and been like a poor, broke graphic designer or something. I don't know. I'm really into art and stuff like that and photography, so I'd probably still be in this realm, this world, but I wouldn't be as fortunate as I am. I wouldn't be as blessed, you know.
As performers though, can you see yourselves doing this when you're reaching upper 30s, 40s, 50s? Or is that just too far ahead to think about?
No way, man. I think about it all the time. I actually 100% believe we will be. See, which is funny because nobody in a million years would believe that coming from a band like us. Mm-hmm. But see, they don't see things from our perspective. You're not seeing these people come like having like almost semi-spiritual spiritual experiences with us at these shows, man. Sometimes it's just like you look out at these kids, like they're really connecting some of this stuff. Forget us, forget what these songs mean to us. Like these people connect with these songs on a level that none of us ever prepared for or knew was going to happen. And it's just special, man. And it happened on the last record, it happened on the record before that. It's happened every album we've ever put out. And this one, it's going to be no different. To be honest with you, I think I became a better storyteller on this album. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, really excited about people hearing it, man.
This one has just been such a long process. I mean, we were in the studio tracking it for 8 months. And forever. Then we were out of it trying to get it mixed and mastered for another 2 months. Then we went in this whole big thing where we didn't know if we were going to be able to release it when we wanted to or not. And at the last minute, literally 3 days before we had told the fan base we were going to put out the album, we got the go-ahead that we could do that from our judge. He's an awesome guy. Thank you for that.
We didn't pay him or anything.
No.
They changed my life, and I thought that I needed to get a tattoo.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So did I. I had a very similar experience right back here. I think it's this side of my head, right?
Yeah, you're too far.
Am I too far?
You back. Yeah, there you go.
It's the MXPX logo. Some people think it's Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats.
Which equally is as cool.
Tommy Pickles would be a badass tattoo.
It would be, but it's actually MXPX.
Okay. And I have an Allman Brothers tattoo for my dad, so that he would let me get more tattoos.
There you go. So we approve.
That's a smart thinking right there, Mr. Scaff.
What brought you into heavy music?
I don't know, probably our local scene, just going to shows, just different local bands that played. Kind of had to be a heavy sounding band to kind of make it in our hometown because it was just like a mosh town, so we always knew we needed to have that and we liked it, so it was cool to write it.
It's a mosh town.
Yeah, just like kids
we
like
would go to shows and mosh
yeah.
and like we wanted to have that at our shows, and it's just kind of like what we were into. It was like kind of making our own favorite band if we could combine everything into one, so that's kind of what we did.
So you guys had your 5th album out, Common Courtesy, a while back. You guys working on the next one now, or is it something you're just busy touring right now?
Well, we've been touring a lot this year, but I think we're gonna have a little bit of downtime at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Unless they surprise us with something, which they usually do. But if not, we're gonna spend some time doing a little bit of writing, and nothing's planned though.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna take it easy. We're focused on quality, not just throwing shit out.
No,
so.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's served you well. I mean, the last record got some amazing reviews, so and rightly so as well.
When did we start playing? What age?
I started playing at the age of 13.
Me too.
Now I'm old.
Yeah, I started at 13 as well.
I was around that age. I'm not quite sure, but somewhere around there.
And you're still amazed after about 10 years? What is it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's easy to get like sucked into the routine of everything and forget like where you're at. But usually once a week or so, it really hits me. It's like, wow, this is nuts that we get to do this.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Run the Jewels. The record's great. It's a rap record. And then it's like a metal, I don't know what's called this band, but Death Heaven, Sunbather. I love that album.
We all really like Die Hard is Murder. They're like a deathcore band from Australia. I really like this band called the 1975.
Great album.
Great album. The Story So Far, we jammed that for like, I don't even know how long.
For a long time.
Long time now.
It'll just be easy for you to like make new albums.
That's the goal. So, you know, some of these things that I have go back to all the way in 2009. So it's crazy to be able to just have this huge library of material you can go back and go through and be like, wow, this was really great and we haven't used it. So the best stuff always rises to the top. And our fan base completely supported the whole thing. It went on to be one of the fastest selling records we've ever had. So,
okay with the lawsuits that we
I mean, it hasn't settled, so it's kind of just going on in the background.
but we were able to put it out and our fan base supported it. So we wouldn't be a band right now without it.
On October 17th, the band announced that the physical and iTunes releases would occur on November 25th, 2013. It came with 3 additional tracks: Leave All the Lights On, Good Things, and Same Book But Never the Same Page. Physical editions of Common Courtesy were released on November 25th, 2013 in the US and Europe by the band's own label, ADTR Records. Right Back at It Again impacted radio on November 11th. Jeremy, Neil, and Kevin performed a surprise acoustic show for Warped Tour 2013 UK on November 17th, and another acoustic set, this time at Banquet Records the following day, both in London. In early December, it was revealed that the album had sold 93,000 copies in the US within the first week of release, 41,000 copies from the digital release, and 52,000 from the physical release. ADTR performed Right Back at It Again and City of Ocala acoustically for Billboard. A music video for the song Right Back at It Again was released on December 19th, 2013. The music video was nominated for Best Video at the Kerrang! Awards.
Together to make music, to quote, take over the world. 'Twas the year 2003. But it was not just any day. It was a day to remember.
The band went on a UK and Europe tour in January and February of 2014. On March 25th, 2014, End of Me was released as a radio single.
We're gonna go record. Yeah, the process starts. We're gonna start actually laying all the ideas we have down, having everything to where everyone can listen to it, and then once we do that, we're gonna go into a room, we're gonna actually make them into songs. And then once we're gonna spend about a month doing that, and then we're gonna spend another month just playing them and feeling them out, seeing what we want to change. Yeah, we did that, but after playing it for a while, it feels kind of weird, so that'll be part of the process. And then we'll bring in Chad, and then we'll actually start doing pre-production for the actual recording process. So
it started off with Tom, our original guitar player. He just called me up one day. He's like, hey man, we're starting a new band. He actually didn't want to play heavy music anymore. It's like, I don't want to play heavy music anymore, and I know you can sing. You want to start a band? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Mine kind of sucks, and nobody gives a crap that's in my band right now, so.
What is the story behind the illustrations in the album booklet?
Story behind the illustration, it's kind of like how the world, well, it's supposed to be like how the world is, when people are, to your face, behind your back kind of thing, 2 different perspectives of what the world's like from those angles. And Common Courtesy was just kind of our way of saying we should all be better to one another. My influences really came from our hometown. The person who got me into playing music, a friend of mine, he was 3 years older than me. He had a punk band, and they all listened to all that 90s, early 2000s punk rock, NoFX, No Use for a Name, Big Wig, Lagwagon, all those bands. So that's what really got me into playing music in general. Just a friend of mine that I thought was really great at writing music kind of inspired me to get into it.
You live pretty hard on, you party a lot when you're on the road?
Yes, I do.
Who's the worst?
Neil.
Neil?
I am.
Is there a place on Earth you've never played before but would really like to?
Yes, we would love to play in the Middle East, would love to play in Africa.
Basically every continent or something?
Pretty much, and China. We still haven't played a show in China.
Well, when I say it's shrinking, I meant it in a mainstream sort of way. It's obvious that rock isn't the mainstream music anymore. That's more like dance music and hip hop. So I don't really know what can be done. I would say it would just take that next big record, that next big song to really show the world. It's oh, this is still alive and well too.
Something exciting and fresh that, the mainstream would want to attach themselves to, because once the mainstream has them, kind of just goes everywhere.
Exactly. It's just a matter of time too. It happens like that with everybody. I mean, you saw folk music with Mumford & Sons. They had that huge album, and then all of a sudden pop music is writing folk songs, and I think that's really cool. So it's just a matter of time. Who's it going to be?
You're currently on tour with Bring Me the Horizon. What has touring with those dudes been like?
It's been awesome. They're a great band. It's cool. It's cool just to be able to watch them. They have a great new album, Sempiternal.
That thing has been on my rotation since it came out in the car.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah.
Some really great songs. I think some of the best songs written in this genre of music, period, on that album.
Did any of your issues with Victory influence the sound of the album?
Not particularly. I wouldn't say it did. I think we just tried to be ourselves.
Well, we wrote that song while we were in the lawsuit, and it was pretty heavy sounding.
Yeah, but we always try to write heavy songs.
Yeah, but we succeeded that time.
Okay.
It's a good one.
It probably influenced us a little bit, but not particularly. Not anything we meant to do. Maybe just naturally.
The reason I started playing music was because of a band called Blink-182. And it was mainly Mark Hoppus. Me and my friend from when I was younger, we were going to start a band like them, and I was going to play bass guitar and he was going to play guitar, but I told him that I would play guitar because I don't know why, and I did. So here I am, and thank you, Blink, for doing that for me.
So, undecided about the future yet?
You mean like when it comes to record labels and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to depend a lot on how well this album does. And actually, it's already over the halfway point of selling what both of the last two albums had sold total already. So we're only a few months in, so we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know what we're going to do at the beginning of next year, but we're either going to start writing or go on a few more tours. I hope we write. I'm ready to write.
The music video for the song End of Me was released on June 23rd, 2014. In September, the band performed at Chill on the Hill Festival. The band toured across America throughout September and October with supporting acts Bring Me the Horizon, Motionless in White, and Chiodos, dubbing the venture the Parks and Devastation Tour. On November 6, 2014, the music video for I'm Already Gone was released. On 2 dates, the band opened for Blink-182 for their live debut with Matt Skiba ever since kicking out Tom DeLonge.
What was the reason behind A Day to Remember on this one?
Kevin and all of ADTR are good friends of mine. You know, like Kevin's part of the Famous family. We've always like looked after him and always been fans of what they did. And they were at my restaurant that I'm a part of called Crossroads, and we happened to just be eating there the same day. And I was like, "Whoa, you guys are here! What's happening?" You know, started talking. And I was like, "Yo, we're playing some warm-up shows before Muse Inc. You know, if you guys want to roll." And they're like, "Roll? We want to play." I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, like we don't need to talk to nobody. We don't even need to call our managers or booking agent. We're playing." It's a wrap. It was that easy.
On March 9th, 2015, a music video was released for City of Ocala. Due to the way in which the album was released, it was ineligible to chart within its first week of release on the Billboard 200. However, it was predicted that had it been eligible, it would have debuted in the top 10, as it sold over 92,000 copies in the US. It eventually debuted at number 47 on the Billboard 200 and peaked at number 37 3 weeks later. The album has sold 270,000 copies in the US as of July 2016. The album was placed at number 4 on Rock Sound's The 50 Best Albums of 2013 list.
My main influence, pretty much of all time, was a guy named blues player named Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was just over at one of my friend's house, or one of my friend's houses, and his dad was watching live at Allman Combo on VHS, and I just saw it, and ever since that day, I just wanted to play guitar. So he's my number one, and that's why I play guitar.
And the sound of Common Courtesy is quite similar to other albums, I think, but a lot changed obviously behind the scenes. Did this influence the music in any way?
I think so. I mean, well, it always influences the music, what's going on with our lives, because that's actually what I write the songs about.
Yeah.
So, and I try to be as blunt as possible. It's usually like each song was a completely different time period in the 3 years that it's been since the last album. So I kind of sum up in song precisely what happened to our band for the last cycle.
Yeah.
And that's this album.
MXPX, slowly going the way of the Buffalo. The first Rage Against the Machine album was big for me. That was the first heavy band I really listened to.
I got Blink-182 Enema of the State tattoo on my leg. That was a big one for me.
And when it comes to heavy music, I never talk about this. I don't know why. I guess I just don't think about it. But a Florida band called Until the End. Man, that was my pinnacle of what hardcore was when I was a kid. So
On Common Courtesy, your latest album, you guys left in a lot of the commentary on Right Back at It Again and I Remember. What was the decision like to leave that on there? I know as a fan, it's really cool hearing your fun and jovial interactions between each other.
I just thought it was cool. The only one that was really something that I thought should specifically be there was the one that I remember. I wanted to capture everybody having a real conversation, and that's what it was. They didn't even know they were being recorded.
Right, the band breaking down and all that.
That's real. That's a real conversation. You are in the room listening to us look back on our times in the band.
Well, that's what it sounds like, so it's really cool that you guys left that in there. It's not like an extra that you gotta search for, it's right there, here you go.
Right, I thought it just helped tell the story of where we came from and what our band's about. It's not, it's different from other bands, it's not about being cool or being the next big band. It's just about writing the music that we want and having a good time with us as people.
And then when it came out that the judge was going to allow us to release our album, it was the support we got from the fans and friends in the music industry was amazing, because nobody expected it and it happened. So it was amazing. One of the best experiences I've ever felt in my life, honestly.
Yeah, I imagine.
I felt like you won the World Series or something along those lines. So it was awesome.
How do you write songs? Do you, I don't know, do you put something on paper every time it pops into your head, or do you plan writing sessions, or?
We try a little bit of both, but mainly what it is I'm writing constantly. I mean, all the time. I don't ever really plan it out. I just kind of hear songs in my head, and I just have to figure them out whenever that happens. So I'm never too far away from an acoustic guitar. And anytime I have something that I really like, I usually do a little easy, recording of it so I don't forget it. Write down whatever words I hear or mumble if I can't think of anything to say at the time. But, I just keep that, and if it's something that I really like over time that still sticks out 2-3 years later, then we use it on records. And I try to fit it in to what we're writing at the time and just fit in these really awesome parts. And you can really, I have hundreds, probably close to 1,000 different things that I've saved over time. And when you can really go through it all, you can really pick out some amazing stuff when you do it like that. It's like, this is me actually at my best from the span of 2009 forward. So there's always this library that I have of stuff that I've loved. And I only use the parts for albums that I really love, that sticks out over time.
And a prom?
I don't know. I think we'd ruin the prom.
Well, we'd have to play If It Means a Lot to You or something.
Yeah, about 10 times too.
Yeah, we could kill it if we played that one song. You start throwing in some of the heavier stuff, that could be an awkward prom.
Yeah.
The song, Sometimes You're the Hammer, Sometimes You're the Nail, that song I really relate to. It's got a very inspirational part towards the end. Where were you at when you wrote that, and does it have a specific meaning to you? When it's I reserve the right, and that whole bit right there, I really dig that part.
Thank you. That part actually kind of fell out of the sky. It was one of those parts where it just kind of happened. I remember I was in my room doing something on the other side of the house, and because where we recorded was my house, and Andrew is in the other side of the studio, and I just came running into the studio. I was like, I got this idea. Andrew was actually tracking something. He had like some idea of his at the time.
Stop, dude.
I was like, I know this is weird, but you gotta stop. Just give me the guitar. I need to figure out how to play this real fast, because I heard the whole thing in my head. And it was cool. Our video guy, Drew Russ, was there, and he filmed the whole thing. Like, it was the only time that's ever happened to me. I've actually never seen the footage either, but he filmed the whole creation of that part, from me having the idea, picking up the guitar, figuring out how to play it, and then I wrote down the words. It all just kind of came out. It wasn't something that was pre-planned or pre-thought out. It just kind of came through me, and
that's
we just
cool.
recorded it on the spot.
Usually when I have an experience that really generates a lot of emotion for me as a person, I usually try to write. I don't even try, I just do. It's kind of like my way of feeling better about a problem I'm having, or being frustrated with something that's going on with me. And that's usually when it happens. I usually hear like words in my head, or I'm thinking something, and then I kind of put it together in a cool way, just thinking, and I'll use those as the ideas. And when you do it right when it happens to you, I feel like you can really capture a feeling and a mood that you wouldn't have if you were just like, oh, I want to write a song about this, but I don't feel like that anymore. You got to catch it then. That's how I do it, at least. And I feel like it helps, and really helps us as a band, because these people actually feel what we're talking about when they listen to it.
You got a girlfriend, correct?
I do, yes.
With your crazy schedule, how do you maintain that? What are some of the things that you guys do to kind of maintain that relationship? A lot of FaceTime, I'm guessing, that kind of
stuff? A lot of FaceTime, yeah. You got to be open, you got to be honest with each other, and yeah, she comes out as much as she can. When she can time off work, or when we're in the US, where it's easy to do that. And then yeah, we spend as much time as possible together when we're home.
And any behind the scenes footage? Or?
Yes, we're starting to collect that right now. We've actually been filming, kind of creating a video library since 2009 as well.
Yeah.
So we've been filming the whole time. We plan on doing something pretty crazy in the long run, but right now we're focused on shooting this live DVD, putting out like a live record with it. It's gonna be cool.
Interesting.
First time I said it right there.
The Self-Help Fest was an idea that vocalist Jeremy McKinnon came up with while talking to his girlfriend. He said, "She told me that most people who come to our shows respond like it's more than just a concert to them. It's like the music is genuinely helping them." Thus, they titled the festival Self-Help, because at the end of the day, that's what music's all about.
We wanted to put together a festival just with our genre of music, kind of have a place for just our style and bands like us. On top of that, put a lineup together that we want to see, that we feel like this group of fans want to see.
So we just like to bring in bands that we like and treat them well.
The first Self-Help Fest took place on March 22nd, 2014 at the NOS Event Center in San Bernardino, California. A Day to Remember headlined the festival, and a number of punk rock and metalcore bands also performed, including Bring Me the Horizon, Of Mice and Men, The Story So Far, Memphis May Fire, Attila, and Let Live. They actually held another one a few months later in October. And a third one in March of 2015, although a Dater member did not perform, but they did produce the festival along with Fly South Music Group and a few other agencies. Following common courtesy, the group took a break. Jeremy McKinnon explained that the band was, quote, doing our own thing, taking it easy, and trying to recharge the batteries.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
When I see myself in 10 years, hopefully still doing this. That's the goal. In some way, shape, or form, I want to be attached to music. That's all I care about.
At the start of 2015, the group rented a cabin at Horsetooth Reservoir, located in Dakota Hogback Ridge, west of Fort Collins, Colorado. The cabin was surrounded by woods, and according to Jeremy, the group, quote, just wrote together in a room, which was the polar opposite of the last 3 albums we've made. Typically, Jeremy would have some material saved to show the group. However, this time around, he didn't have any. On September 30th, 2015, guitarist Neil Westfall announced in an interview with Ultimate Guitar that the band were casually working on new material without a prospective release date. A Day to Remember co-headlined the Big Ass Tour in arenas with the Amity Affliction in Australia and New Zealand in December 2015, with supporting bands Motionless in White and Hands Like Houses. Paranoia was premiered on Zane Lowe's Beats One show on Apple Music on March 9th, 2016. The music video for the song was released the next day. Later in the video, the band is being chased by a figure that online magazine Loudwire considers a cross between Lost Smoke Monster and Disturbed's The Guy mascot.
I'm most proud that we are still together.
Same. Yeah, that, and I'm pretty stoked about the festival we put together. I think that's really rad.
Definitely.
Is there someone in the band that is super paranoid? Because when I listen to the song, it almost reads as a conversation between 2 people. I know you contributed lyrics, so
yes.
Tell me about that.
We're all paranoid. It's about Alex. It's mostly about Alex. Alex is very paranoid.
No,
kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like, dealing with that voice in your head.
Yeah.
Kind of having a fight about whether you should let it take over you and rule you, or you should just...
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah, in a more general sentiment too, it's kind of just about like anxiety and like anxiety attacks, because like a bunch of us in the band get those and it makes us feel weird. So we wrote lyrics about it. Yeah. And now it's a cool song.
Yeah.
We didn't even know it was going to do very well like the very first year we did it.
Yeah.
And like, 12,500 people came?
Something like that. Yeah, we were expecting something like our normal headlining numbers. We're like, if we do that, we'll be fine. And then, like you said, 12,000 people came. So it's just cool being a music fan and being able to put together a lineup. Think about that.
What's it like being on tour with Blink? These guys had some sort of influence on you guys. I know when you were coming up. Has it been weird, surreal, kind of?
No, it was really easy actually, because they made it easy. Like Hoppus came in our room like first night, started making fun of us, so the ice was broken immediately.
Perfect.
They've been super nice to us. I know that everybody would say that, but I can't stress enough, no band has ever been cooler to us than they have. And it seems genuine too, so it's been, you couldn't ask for anything better.
How do you guys feel about that Blink-182 All Time Low All American Rejects tour?
It's huge. It's a big tour for us. It's so grateful to be a part of it. I think it's going to be a great step for our career, and we're pumped to be a part of it.
We stand out. We actually, we're a different band than everyone else, so it's going to be fun.
When did you know that you wanted to make music your career?
To be honest with you, I never planned on just being a career musician. I just thought guitar was cool, and I just played it every day. So
he almost became a history teacher.
Yeah, I was almost a history teacher.
It was like a little break in the middle. He was in a band before, and then he almost became a history teacher, and then we found him, and now he's with us.
Damn it!
He's the best guitar player ever.
My sense of humor is from Blink-182, and I'm still trying not to fangirl out on them every time I see them. I'm trying to play it cool, yeah, hey guys. I'm gonna go to catering. See you guys.
When it comes to the mix of the music, honestly, that song is more like the A Day to Remember I've always wanted us to be than we've ever gotten before. So
it wasn't something we were doing on purpose. We were just doing our thing. And at first our thing didn't really make sense. And I guess that's all part of it. When you're doing something that is perceived as being strange or something that might not work, when it does, it makes it pretty special. So I would just say be yourself.
That's all we've ever done, and it worked out.
In May of 2016, the group went on a U.S. tour entitled Just Some Shows, with support from Parkway Drive and Stagehands. On June 2nd, the band announced their next album, Bad Vibrations, and released a music video for their new single, Bad Vibrations. Late July to early October, the band supported Blink-182 on their North American tour. Bullfight was released as a single on July 25th, 2016. A music video for Bullfight was released on August 16th. Naivety was released as a single on August 19th. We Got This was released as a single on September 1st. The same day, a music video for Naivety was released. Bad Vibrations was released on September 2nd, 2016 as a day to remember 6th studio album. Jeremy went on to describe the album as containing, quote, an element of returning to our roots, and that the album was their first since For Those Who Have Heart to feature full contributions from all of the band members. It was the first time since that album that the group had written together in a room.
It's been absolutely incredible. I mean, like, they're so nice and so accommodating, and it's just kind of a dream come true, I guess. You know, it's like a band we all looked up to growing up, and we all kind of were like, man, it would be so cool to tour Blink-182, and now that we are, it's like, man, it's so cool touring with Blink-182.
And what's your favorite on here?
The songs? Right now, I like playing Paranoia live. Out of stuff that we haven't played, probably We Got This. We're trying to be everybody. You know, everybody likes all sorts of different kinds of music these days. We're trying to be your favorite band all in one CD.
Did you have any like new influences when you started writing this one?
Not necessarily new, just kind of like reaching back through everything that's kind of influenced us thus far, and then kind of just looking at it a different way, pulling from it that way, you know.
What are some things that inspired your songwriting for that album?
Getting in the smallest room and drinking a lot of coffee, and just writing as many songs as we possibly can. And I think that the ones that made it were the ones that kind of was the feeling of the entire process. So it's pretty cool.
So if you were a voice in your bandmate's head, what do you think you would be telling them to do?
I would be a terrible voice in their head.
Not a moral compass, are you?
Yeah.
I am the moral compass, and
are
that's
you?
why I'm usually that guy in the band. I'm like, don't do that. I'm the dad.
So they would hate you, but it would benefit them.
I'm already that guy.
Yeah,
I just say it out loud to them.
Yeah, you just do it to their face.
Neil and them, they're crazy, but it's fun, you know? I'm the guy who's like, don't do that, but if they hadn't done that, we would have had way less. So
right.
So the balance is good.
Essentially, I ruin everything.
There you go.
Well, somebody has to.
While some of the group's previous albums were written while on tour, Jeremy considered it, quote, important to me and the rest of the band to get everybody involved in a room, properly involved, and just write a record together. The group wrote music casually for fun without any expectations, according to Jeremy. For the most part, Jeremy would have either a chorus or melody idea that the rest of the group would flesh out into a song. On some occasions, the group would jam and have a finished song in an hour. For their past two albums, What Separates Me From You and Common Courtesy, the group had trouble naturally writing heavy songs. Jeremy said this album is heavier than the last three put together. Cody Quistad of Wage War often accompanied the band for these writing sessions. He also previously worked with ADTR, co-writing Sometimes You're the Hammer, Sometimes You're the Nail from Common Courtesy. The group wrote for 30 days, completing at least one song per day. Writing sessions lasted 8 to 10 hours. By the end of this period, the group had around 40 songs in total.
Having to write in a place where no one could leave, and we kind of had a set schedule, like, hey, we're going in here, we don't have a lot of finished material, we need to go in a room and hash it all out and work on everyone's ideas and just keep like a positive attitude about the whole thing, because after we wrote it, we had to then go and record it for another 2 months. So
yeah, I think it just made us like a closer, like tight-knit band too. Like, it was crazy being in the same room with each other for literally 3 months at a time, because usually we do tours and we can get away from each other, but there was zero getting away from each other.
What was your least favorite school subject?
Oh,
least favorite what?
School subject.
Oh, my least favorite school subject was anatomy and physiology.
Yeah, mine was science for sure. Yeah. Anything science related.
How is it doing work with your own label, ADTR Records, and working with Epitaph Records, a great label with some great bands there?
Yeah, they're distributing the album, and they've been super supportive. They do anything and everything we ask them to, so couldn't be happier with it. We've seen more of our faces, I guess, around the world than we ever have on a release, so they've been doing a great job, and yeah, putting it out ourselves is great. We get to call the shots and decide what we spend our money on, which is nice.
How'd you hook up with the guys from Epitaph Records?
Well, Brett's been a fan for a while, so it just kind of made sense. We went to him.
What makes for a good live performance? You guys are touring with a bunch of bands all summer long, so you're kind of pros by now after a while.
Jameson. Our mentors, Jameson and Jack.
Yeah, I think just playing to all the time. Like, we kind of know what works and what doesn't now.
Jeremy said the album's title is derived from feelings of stress and anxiety. Bad Vibrations was written by Jeremy, Kevin, Neil, and Cody Quistad, and was the final song written for the album. According to Jeremy, the song is about being overwhelmingly stressed and what it does to you. The breakdown during that song is heavily inspired by a drum pattern that Mark Castillo of Bury Your Dead would play, according to Alex. One day, the group were working on a song, but had hit a roadblock with it and were about to call it a day. Then Jeremy heard Kevin play a random riff. Jeremy immediately heard the first half of Paranoia, and immediately showed everybody in the room how to play it. The band composed the breakdown together, finishing Paranoia in under 30 minutes. Jeremy was writing the lyrics with Kevin and Neil during the evening, and they recorded a demo the following morning. The song's lyrics were inspired by an event Jeremy and his girlfriend experienced during Halloween a few years prior. A kid banged on Jeremy's window at 3 a.m., an experience he called terrifying.
We never played China. I love to play China.
You never played Alaska?
Yep, never played Alaska.
Which is weird.
There's a ton of places we could still go, and they're all like still like goals that we're trying to reach, and it's kind of cool that we still have those to kind of like hit and stuff like that.
The whole motto of this record was to break out of that comfort zone and do something that's uncomfortable. So we went out there. They didn't really know much about us. They just had heard our name, and they went back and listened to all our records. I remember one of the first days, Bill was like, "So what'd you come here for? Like, we're listening to all your albums. Like, they sound good. Like, why change it up?" And we explained to him, it's like, "Well, we just wanted to get out of the circle at home and really focus on writing a record, just us five in a room." So that's what we did. But it was crazy getting to know those guys because there was no bullshit the whole time. Because of it, he's like, "I don't know you, so I'm not going to be nice." It's like, "I don't really like that song. Next."
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
throw some curveballs at you there.
yeah. So they definitely pushed us to be as good as we could be during this session. So couldn't have happened without them.
Naivety, written by Jeremy, Kevin, and Descendants drummer Bill Stevenson, talks about loss of innocence. According to Jeremy, it's that feeling before you try, and then you get killed. Exposed was written by Jeremy, Cody, Neil, and Kevin. Jeremy described it as a heavy song, but it's less 2000s hardcore than a riffier, modern heavy sound. The song is about the way people make negative comments about the world. Bullfight, written by Jeremy, Neil, and Kevin, is about a person who is changed when something positive happens to them. Reassemble was written between Jeremy and the group's longtime producer, Andrew Wade. Jeremy showed it to the band, and they adapted it to fit the group. The song talks about someone that struggled with addiction. Justified, written by McKinnon, Westfall, Quistad, Stevenson, and staff, came about from an idea Neil previously had. The group loved the song early on in the writing process. Lyrically, the song is about judgmental people who have a distaste for others for simply having different beliefs than them. Got This, written by Jeremy, Neil, and Kevin, is about when you're a young person in a music scene people don't really understand or respect, but then going to these shows and realizing this is something you love. The song was attempted during sessions for common courtesy, but the group weren't happy with it. With help from Stevenson, the group resolved the problems they had with the track.
He and I exchanged phone numbers and started the process of like, hey, I want to get tattooed by him. So we created a tattoo for him with this astronaut sleeve. He had this tattoo already on his arm that was done by like, I think Chauncey Fury did it. Super cool dude, not Chauncey. And it was like a little scene of a spaceship or something taking off and maybe some like UFOs and stuff, like a little alien thing. Dude, I love aliens. Me and Alex immediately hit it off. So we built this entire scene of this like UFOs blown up and rocket ships and stuff like that. So there's like astronauts like flying out of it. There's this like big explosion. You know, it's just cool scene, like pretty dynamic thing, you know. So it started there. You know, it started with me tattooing Alex's arm. So he was driving up to Georgia and began this whole process. And after a couple of sessions, he knew I toured with other bands. So he invited me to go and travel with him. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's go on tour. Let's go tattoo her.
Is there a lot of pressure with the new album, with it being on your own label, for it to be real successful as far as chart position and all that kind of stuff? Or
I mean, you always feel pressure, but I mean,
so much right now. It's like first weeks don't really matter, but they still do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With everybody streaming the album so much these days, that's really where it's going. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. A high number would also be well received by us.
Sing About You, written by Jeremy, Kevin, Neil, and Alex Shellnut, talks about a person who tells you something which causes you to look differently at them. Turn Off the Radio, written by Jeremy, Neil, Kevin, and Andrew Wade, was another song that was intended for common courtesy. The song's original bridge contained a rap beat and was intended to feature Rick Ross. Ross asked if the group were Satanists. Jeremy responded, "Evidently, somebody told him yes, and we never heard from him again." Forgive and Forget, written by Jeremy, former guitarist Tom Denny, Kevin, and Andrew, is about being addicted to a significant other. Negative Space was written by Jeremy, Josh Woodard, and Scaff. In Florida was written by Jeremy, Neil, and Kevin. The band demoed all the material they had in Fort Collins, Colorado. Jeremy spoke to Team Rock about his initial concerns when preparing to record the album, stating that he was terrified and stuck in this weird, high-stress mindset every day. Selecting the material to be recorded for Bad Vibrations, the group narrowed the number of songs down to those they loved the most, regardless of genre.
More traveling, a lot more touring. So we started working on these things, you know. Neil started getting a super cool clock. It was like this filigree and clockwork, this chess piece like gold, and there's like a snake wrapped around it. Like reptiles apparently. Came out super cool. Some really cool experiences with Neil too. I think I tattooed Neil in the back of the tour bus. I think it's probably the only time I tattooed him while the bus was moving. It was being nauseous and it was like...
We're driving down the road right now. Craig Beasley is tattooing me while we're on
Fucking, I lasted like 15 minutes. I was like, I can't do this, dude. I'm done.
I'm not really sure. I think this is probably the first time Craig's ever done it. Maybe the first time anyone's ever done it. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I am.
What's a must-have on your tour rider?
Apple cider vinegar.
So weird.
Bud Light.
We kind of made this album with Europe in mind, actually, because
really?
everyone kind of likes, you know, the hardcore like punk scene over here.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's do it. We had to get some demons out anyway.
Previously, Jeremy would be a little more in control, having co-produced several of the band's past albums. However, for Bad Vibrations, he took a step back and let Stevenson be in control. Jeremy added that he went in to record the album with nothing much to offer, with hardly anything that he was excited about. Jeremy later called it one of the most unique recording experiences we've ever had, and that working with Stevenson was an awesome experience. Jeremy said producer Stevenson was a bit hard to read at first, so he thinks they subconsciously pushed themselves harder to try to impress him. As a result, he said, we gave this album everything we had. The group recorded several extra tracks that didn't make the final track listing. With Kerrang, Jeremy revealed that the album's artwork wasn't finalized because no one nailed it for a long time. As a result, the band were unable to put up pre-orders, despite the album having been completed since December 2015. Eventually, illustrator Mike Cortada came up with the album's artwork. He previously created artwork for a number of the band's albums and singles, as well as designs for their tours and music videos. He called creating the Bad Vibrations artwork very intense. The group didn't have any concept for the artwork, other than making it display a, quote, darker, heavier vibe. He made adjustments with the band members until they got it right. He wanted to make it be something very special and unique with a lot of depth. The colors came naturally to Cortada. He called the final artwork, quote, a pretty intense and outrageous art piece made of illustrations, all hand-drawn, pen to paper, and scanned.
Kevin was pretty new in the band at the time too. He already had a few tattoos. I think he also had some tattoos from Chauncey Fury, some flowers. Then we did these like real new school, just big-eyed, like angel, kind of devil, kind of kid-looking people on them. Real fun tattoo. Something a little different for me. I like doing tattoos of all styles, so it was pretty cool. Actually, really cool. I like the background. I like all the black and gray, clouds and stuff with it too. The big eyes, the characters look real fun. Real new school tattoo.
And Naivety just came out. The video actually just came out. I was watching that, cracking up. How was makeup getting into Old Face? Like, how long did that take you?
It took like an hour or two, and it burnt my face. The
Seriously?
stuff they were using to get it off, but I was fine. It was just like right here in the corner of my eye, and I was fine. But it was a lot of fun to do it. We just went around town, got really weird looks all day. I remember when we were driving the van to our management's office for some of the scenes to be filmed, we started messing with people on the road. Yes. Like there'd be drivers like coming up next to us at lights, and we would fuck with them. It was great.
You know, we did the next best thing. We were on the Blink-182 tour, and that was the second highest grossing rock tour.
Yeah.
Right after Guns N' Roses reunion tour.
Wow, I did not know the Blink one was pretty up there.
It was massive. It was huge.
Because they're coming over here.
Kudos to Blink.
Hands down.
Huh?
No. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
I can play it, but he writes like a motherfucker.
And I can write, but I can't play it.
In December 2016, the band embarked on the Bad Vibes tour, which began in Australia with support from Of Mice and Men and Tonight Alive. The Australian leg was followed by a UK leg in January 2017, with support from Newfound Glory, Neck Deep, and Moose Blood, with a full European tour being undertaken in February. The album debuted at number 2 in the United States, selling over 62,000 copies in its first week. The album also reached number 1 in Australia, number 6 in the UK, number 7 in Austria and Germany, number 9 in Canada, number 17 in Switzerland, and number 23 in New Zealand. Paranoia peaked at number 5 on the Rock Digital Songs chart, number 8 on the Mainstream Rock Songs chart, number 13 on the Hot Rock Songs chart, and number 35 on the Rock Airplay chart. Bad Vibrations peaked at number 37 on the Rock Digital Songs chart and number 48 on the Hot Rock Songs chart. By the end of 2016, the album had sold 102,000 copies in the US.
So it took a little bit of time before Jeremy came around, before he ever really talked to, really showed interest in getting a tattoo of that kind of magnitude, you know? He had already had a tattoo on the back of his arm from Oliver Peck, which is fucking rad, dude. Cool looking tattoo. And Jeremy, you know, saw that as like wanting to extend on his tattoo, you know? Not wanting to, you know, take it like a traditional standpoint with these random pieces. He wanted to have a sleeve that was like one flowing piece of moving artwork, like something that felt like a Japanese style tattoo, you know, in a sense of like the way it moves and the way it flows. So we built the entire tattoo for Jeremy around a pirate ship coming around his arm, and then the pirate ship was also like being torn apart, maybe hitting the rocks or something it was. So there was like barrels and like pieces of the ship laying around in the water and things like that. It started with a 3/4 sleeve, and Jeremy wanted to extend it. So then from there we had to figure out how the fuck am I going to add on to this. So we took it underwater and turned it into almost like with some scuba divers and this like really cool kind of scene underwater too.
Working on me, and it's, you know, moving along. I really think that he tries to hurt me. I'm pretty much paying him to torture me for 5 hours at times.
There was a few songs that were really cool that everybody really liked, but for whatever reason, I don't like wasting good songs or what I think is good songs. It's like, this music is so good. I, as the vocalist, don't want to ruin this. I don't want it to be like something that people skip because I didn't do something good enough over the top of it. So there are a few songs where I just couldn't get it right, so we'll probably save those, and whenever I finish them, we'll put them out.
So it's safe to say that you're not just going to hold on to them forever and put them in a vault.
No.
At some point.
There's a few songs on this record that actually got finished in a way we were happy with We Got This and Turn Off the Radio. Those were both written for the last record, but I just couldn't quite get it right.
What's the game plan? Are you going back in the studio, do another album? Do you try to crank out an album every couple of years?
I don't know what we're gonna do. We haven't really discussed that.
What songs are you bringing the baritone out for?
This is on Paranoia, Mr. Highway's Thinking About the End, Better Off This Way, and Exposed.
One big thing I really remember about them is gambling for the first time. Did like a lot of fun with Josh. Josh does have a lot of tattoos. He's the bass player. I remember doing this little 21 tattoo on the inside of his finger because he just gambles. He loves playing blackjack. I enjoyed playing blackjack with him. I remember sitting down at some tables for the first time in my life ever, just witnessing anybody spend that much fucking money on a blackjack table.
Well, the first riff I learned was on a different guitar. It was on a Harmony.
Oh, nice.
Like from Walmart.
Yeah.
Just because like my parents bought me a guitar like when I was like 7, but I was like, I don't know what to do with it. I put it in the closet.
Yeah.
And it sat in the closet for years. And then my buddy actually came up to me and was like, hey, I need extra credit in music. And we were in 5th grade or something like that at the time. And he's like, you got that guitar in your closet, right? I was like, yeah. And he was like, can you like learn how to play Brain Stew by Green Day? And I was like, I guess. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know who Green Day was at the time. Anyways, I learned kind of how to play it by just like root notes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to play chords, and I had no idea what I was doing. So we played it. I played it wrong. He got extra credit, and then I put the guitar back in the closet for like a few years until I saw the Stevie Ray video. So, yeah, my first riff was actually Brain Stew, but it was wrong.
Well, I'm going to give a key to the city to each one of the members of
During their homecoming show in Ocala on March 18th, 2017, the band were presented with keys to the city.
And it's a real honor. I'm so proud of these young men, and they've made Ocala proud, and I'm proud to have them here tonight. And this you see up here is the homecoming, and I think they just came back from Europe, and they came to see us tonight. And this tonight is truly a day to remember in Ocala. So I think, yeah. Guys, come on out. Jenny, you got some keys for us? All right. So let me show you this. And this is what I'm giving. And it's got their name on the back, and then it says a day to remember. So this one is for Jeremy McKinnon. And this one, Josh Woodard. Kevin Scaff. Neil Westfall. Thank you. And this young man, I think I remember growing up here in Ocala. And I know his mom and dad are out there tonight. Alex Shelnut. Okay, so let me tell you another quick story. There's a young man out there somewhere. He's from Lecanto, Florida. He was in the U.S. Navy, and he was on an aircraft carrier for 4 years. And what has inspired him during his 4 years there was listening to this band. And he's out there somewhere tonight with his wife. So give it up for him. Thank you for your service, sir. And now I'm going to turn it over to these gentlemen and let them say some things.
What's going on, Ocala? So thank you guys for being here tonight. We appreciate every single one of you guys for supporting us. We'd just like to say thank you to the city of Ocala for putting this on tonight. This is amazing. I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you guys, the fan base, for making it possible for this to even happen. Management, booking, everybody that makes sure that we play shows all around the world. Thank you guys so much, for real. We wouldn't be a band without them. All of our friends and family who are right back here next to the soundboard. Yeah, I see them. Seriously, we used to play in our parents' garages and we'd get the cops calling us out all the time because we were making too much noise, so. Those cops are here somewhere. Thank you guys too for letting us keep playing. Last but not least, our dude DJ. He's a local booking agent here. Come say hey, DJ. My man here. He books shows in Ocala. He keeps this scene alive. So. If you live here or if you're from here, support local music. That's the only reason this band exists. So thank you guys. I don't know what else to say. We're going to get off this stage and let them set up for this show, and then we're going to play a set for you guys tonight. Thank you guys so much. First place you played in Ocala, Florida. And I had to remember, because it's been a long time ago. I remember our first show was in DeLand, Florida. Does anybody know where DeLand is? A place called Happy Days. Then the second place we played was a place in Bellevue, Florida called The Mission. And then number 3, the first time we ever played Ocala, Florida, funny enough, was in that building right back there, the Tuscaloosa Youth Center. So it's really come full circle tonight. This is the craziest thing we've ever done in our hometown. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is something we, all of our friends, and especially all of our family, will never fucking forget. So thank you guys so much for the support over the years. In honor of this event, we decided we were going to pull a song that we haven't been playing in a while. This song's called City of Ocala.
video for We Got This was released on September 22nd, 2017.
Cool, like getting to really build a relationship with these guys. Like, I didn't feel like I was there as just like a fan. I didn't feel like I was there as like one person's guest, because when you go out on these tours, every person brings their girlfriend along. Everybody has their significant other that's there. I wasn't a crew member. I was just a guy in between, and it was just like everyone's fucking homie, and the crew respected me. Felt a lot of love, man. I felt young and extremely blessed, and really, really grateful to have that as a part of my life. For them to share that with me and to treat me the way they did, man, that shit still the day means a lot to me. Like, truly, love you guys.
What's the key to Ocala look like? Is it a big key?
Yeah.
Does it look like one of these keys?
It's about
It's actually
that
pretty
big.
nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice key. It's like 11 inches.
I was very impressed.
And do you have that hung
It's
up
larger
in your house?
than average.
It's sitting on the counter right now,
It's
but
11
we're gonna display it some cool way.
Have you tried to open up things around Ocala with that key?
Yeah, we tried opening up Chick-fil-A on Sunday.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
I've caught drumsticks before. I've caught picks, obviously, but I've never caught or had pieces of shrapnel, or I guess in this case a bass, in my hand.
Yes.
So that's a cool souvenir.
For sure. I got in a little trouble though, because I think it was literally like a mini riot, like in the crowd to get this thing. So.
You got in trouble by like band or crew members or like venue?
Not band or crew. No one here. Everyone thought it was like silly and just maybe a little
fun.
crazy. But yeah, I think the venue was just like, he can't do that. He cannot do that. So
we're gonna do top 5 guitar players.
Okay.
I see some tattoos on you, right? I see some tattoos. I'm hoping that is what I think it was inspired by. So let's go top 5 guitar players.
All right. Well, number 1, Stevie, always. Number 2 is which is this one.
Which is tattooed on you.
Tattooed number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Hendrix. Got Hendrix up here. Number 3 is Randy Rhoads. Yeah, there's the polka dots. That's where that comes from. And I really like Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit. I think his guitar playing, Jacksonville. Yeah, all his guitar playing and all his riffs that he makes up somehow are insanely imaginable. They're really cool. And number 5 would be Clapton. Yeah, Clapton. The slow hand, God himself.
On June 14th, 2019, EDM producer Marshmello released a collaboration track with the band titled Rescue Me, marking the band's first new release in 3 years.
Thing for them to be so loud and I just go, yeah!
Motherfucking metal, dude. This is just my humble opinion. Kevin Scaffway on this one. I think that was the loudest cheer of tour. Jets is flying over right now. I don't know how you do that, but I love you for it.
It means a lot to me. Please to God.
So did you guys want to hear some more songs or what? Hell yeah. Well, let's see what we can do about that. Kevin, what are you going to play for these good people tonight?
Vikings play. What are you gonna play for these good people tonight? What are we gonna play? On the fucking spot, go!
Special people change. In the strange, where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Some say you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Some say you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova. Champagne supernova in the sky.
That was beautiful. That was good.